Let's do it live. What's up, everybody? How are you? Welcome to Bushwhacking Odin's Day, Skull Odin's Day. Right? It is Wednesday. It's payday for me. Do we have audio? It's getting set up here. Bear with me. Bear with me. You guys see the bear in the thumbnail? If you guys can give me some feedback as to whether or not I am. Thumbnail? Oh. If you guys can give me some feedback, I can see whether or not I am. I'm getting feedback on my feedback. Okay, so let's do this. Stop cam, no. All right, we're going to go over my reading from my last video. Compliments on Mr. Brees having a great question. So I'll play some cool clips, some video clips, some truth drops. We'll just do a whole bunch of stuff. So you're looking at my mug right now. Sorry about that, but it's going to be a little bit of an open forum. Like I said, hip fire session. We'll show some of my cool video clips. We'll address the question, the query that Mr. Brees had posed in the comments of my last video, which I think if he had this query, others probably did. So let's just let's get it going. Hope everybody's had a great day so far. I sure have. Just punched out of work and here with you guys. How long, Bear? Thank you, brother. Hey, I'll see you on Sunday. Stopping by. Okay, cool. That's a Big 10-4, sir. Thank you for that. It all goes, it all adds up, and I appreciate that. As a matter of fact, Jerusha McBear earlier, she had a comment too. We're going to go over that, asking where you guys can donate. I haven't really set that up yet. I did have a PayPal or a Patreon before, and I clipped it. So I'll eventually get back into doing that, but I appreciate that. PT Ripa, Paolo, what's up? I'm going to show your comment also. So, Mr. Brees, my man from down under. Okay, cool. I appreciate it. So good to see you guys. Again, Skull Odin's Day. Wednesday is Odin's Day or Wotan's Day. That legend. So let's get you up on share screen so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Peep the video. Okay, so let's start off with Google Earth. And if you guys have questions as I go, like I said, open forum, ping pong back and forth. Paulo, you had a great question. Mr. Brees had a great question about the picture. If you guys noticed my last reading, my last video, that picture of Jerusalem next to Niagara Falls was not in that book. I should have prefaced that. I should have said that. And I should have addressed the question that Mr. Brees had. So we'll do that now. Gave me ambition to go live. Didn't have any obligations with the family. The wife said it was okay. So here we go. All right. Let's just do it right now. The picture that you guys were looking at is Jerusalem. And I'll pull up my video or YouTube and show you the question that Mr. Brees had. Also, I did take the monetization off all of my videos because for this specific reason or one of them, I can just go right to it and not have to worry about commercials, you know. Okay, so where's you had mad comments, Brees. I like it. Thank you. Okay. Can you guys see what's going on here? Go in the chat. El Humble. Hey, thank you, A Humble Disciples. I really appreciate that a lot. So, yes, God bless. Greetings, programs. How we doing, DVS Lord? Yeah, we're gonna go. So we're gonna go over this one too. The Biddle staircase. That is one of the coolest features of the falls. But all right, we're gonna go. Where's your question at? Absolute gravy. Here we go. So can you guys see the question? Let me remove. Thanks again, DVS Lord. Okay, so I'd like to draw your attention to a query right here. 16 hours ago, Mr. Brees had said, absolute gravy. So all that we see here got completely wiped. No. So what's going on here, Brohim, is it's just a side by side. And I came across this picture. What you'd say in my Gulliver's Travels of doing research, that montage that I put up when I read the last video, that was like again a hodgepodge of kind of all the pictures that I have of Niagara Falls, along with pictures that I got in this book. Okay. And some of the pictures that I have in this book, I couldn't find it all online. So, that's another reason it's valuable to have. Are you a user? I might need to clarify on that one. How long bear? I'm a user of a user profile, but love your work. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, so what Mr. Brees had questioned is that did this get all wiped out? And what I think this picture is, it is the Royal Panorama, Leicester Square, of views of the Niagara Falls and the city of Jerusalem. Now it comes out of, which book is this? Obviously, it's archive.org. I look through and I research so much material that I forget sometimes. But I did put this link in the description of the last video, so it's available to you, which is what I wanted to do. I did kind of a chop job when I panned over that picture when I was reading. Again, I'm not the most polished presenter or producer, but I like to think that when you come to my channel, you learn something. So, get backing up to the question: was this all washed out? No, I just think that it's very interesting that they put like a picture of how they're very similar, the layout, you know. And when I seen this, it was one of those overflowing of gravy moments. Movie reference. Oh, okay, there you go. You know what? You got me on that one, How Long Bear. It's movie. Are you a user? That. I fancy myself kind of a movie buff, and you got me on that one. DVS. Okay, Tron. That's it. Uh, Points to DVS Lord. You got it. It's Tron. Okay, so does anybody have any questions on that? Now, it wasn't washed out. It just looks familiar. It looks similar, and we can zoom in on this. It's one of the cool things about archive.org is that you could zoom in on these pictures. Now look at this. What I thought was cool. Look at the background, 5 and 6. What's going on there? Let's see. Convent of Saint Pelagia and the Church of Ascension. There you go. Greetings, brothers and sisters. Shout out to Pockets. What also was cool is that you look at number 25 right here. It says that it's the gate of heaven. So, I mean, it's just immense gravy. And also draw your attention to this. So, yeah, that does look like a tree, actually. But, yeah, so let's do that. Let me pull up all my pictures that I have. We'll go over some cool stuff here. And we'll open up the Niagara Falls. Now, what I also want to do, I think it's very important to show 3 clips. We're going to show a lot of clips here. I got nothing but time now, guys, so stick with me. If I'm rambling a little bit, I go off on tangents, I'll come back and check out the chat and get back to center. You guys can help me out, remind me where I am, because sometimes I go off on the tangents and I forget what the original point of what I was trying to share with you. But so these are clips that I found from these 3 right here are clips from a video on YouTube about the history of Buffalo and Black Rock, past the time period in which I read my last reading, like 1750s to late 1700s, because I want to kind of give a chronological account of what's going on here in Buffalo. So these 3 initially, I'll show you all 3 of them, and the later 3 are actually from an Erie County YouTube website, of course, but it's from the University of Buffalo, an interview with a gentleman who is a professor there, I believe, and it details the accounts of what led up to and the War of 1812, and I think that was the last reset, at least as far as Buffalo goes, a major reset. I think we did have one 100 years ago also with the administration of the V and the orphans. Father Baker, I cite my Father Baker channel or my Father Baker video. Highly recommend you guys go check that out. Anyway, I'm going to give a chronological account of what happened and is going on in this area because it's very important. This was the linchpin right here. You're looking at Niagara River. This was the doorway to the interior, guys, to get into the interior from the Atlantic. You had to come down to go into Hudson Bay. We're going to detail all this. I'm going to learn you all this in my next couple of videos, but we're going to find out how the British came down the St. Lawrence and the circumstances that led to the War of 1812, because there was an enormously lucrative market is the fur pelt trade in the interior. And we're going to show some more historical context as to why that was enormously important. The work that I've been doing trying to say that the North American continent may have been inhabited other than just natives prior to the Columbian Exchange. Okay, the Columbus 1492 sailed the ocean blue. If there were Basques and Phoenicians here, boy, I told you before, that's my aim, my motivation. I wish I had more time, but things are the way they are for a reason. I'm cruising frozen South Dakota. Okay, cool. So I'll try to keep I appreciate how long Bear saying that I'm driving. So I'll keep in mind that you are just listening. And what I'm showing right now is just the Google Earth section of my region, Western New York. Also, we got Rochester on the map. Shout out to Rad Bear. Robbie Rad Bear is another one of my buddies that I met through the bear community, and he's a legend out near Rochester. He likes to do the research also. I did my Lockport video with him. Check that out, please. Also in my reading, so how long bear? I'm looking at Google Earth, and I'm just showcasing the area, Western New York, Western Door, and showing physically where the St. Lawrence is what connects the actual Great Lakes to the ocean. That's where they came down, the British at least, when they attacked the French. And after the War of 1812, it was the British rule here and over the trade with the Indians and the lucrative pelt market. So historical context, and the clips that I'm going to show is from a video that details what I just said in a little bit more, I guess, professional manner. Not that I'm not professional, but and then we're going to do the UB. We'll show the conversation between a lady and a gentleman who talk about the history as well. So we'll lead in with that, and I'll show a bunch of clips when I can. I'll um, hop in and chime in with my insights. Also, I like to show some clips of funny truth drops or whatever. For example, we know that history is written by the victors, right? So I've showed these before, but it's just very funny. And again, I hope you like what I present here. I really appreciate the love, support, and the insight and the feedback that you guys give me. If it wasn't for you, I don't know if I would have the motivation to keep doing what I do. I still feel compelled to do it. Maybe if I didn't have your feedback, I would just do the research and not share it. So you're a vital part of what. Keep that in mind, because your feedback and your my subs and everybody, my fans, if you will, it's reciprocated, and you're part of my work also. Oh, cool. Yeah, Andrea D. Good to see you. Awesome. Just saying, yeah, I always see you here. I always, you're a big supporter of the work I do, and there's much love, and that's all reciprocated. So you, all my fans and my people who are in the chat, leaving comments at the end of my videos, you guys are all a part of it too. And then he says, but how does this pick of Jerusalem relate to Buffalo? Brees, I'm trying to figure that out, dude. You know, you probably know as much as I do. Why is it side by side? Yeah, that's the deal. I can tell you that I know that Grand Island was once Ararat. I thought it was called. I misspoke in an interview, like a couple interviews back. Not my last interview with Wood and Nichols. I'll plug him too, guys. Sub to what Wood and Nichols and give him some love and let him know who sent you, please. Also, C. Vasilis. I had a conversation with both of them last. What I'm referring to now, though, is I think it was the interview before that with Woody, the True Old World. He titled it. I misspoke when I think I referred to Niagara Falls as New Jerusalem. What I was thinking in my head was the fact that Grand Island, and we'll just do some hip fire here. Okay, so yeah, to answer your question, Brees, I don't know why that is side by side there. That's kind of why I'm doing this, so I can track back to it and figure it out. And with what your question says, was it washed out? This is another comment. You got to take the good with the bad, right? So crazy sink. There was a large gap. One of the comments said that my reading is boring and whatever, but you know what? I take the criticism, and that's not even criticism. That's insight. But here's the deal, and I think that I did say this before. When I put these videos out and when I do a reading or whatever, obviously I can't find the answer in one video. That's not even my aim. We'll never find the answer of true truth. I've been over that. We're just figuring out and researching the cover up. He holds the pen, holds the narrative. Now I'll show a phone clip that details that. Anyway, it's a compendium of work. This is a composition of videos that I make. You know, my beginning videos, I was saying Tartaria all over the place, reset mud floods. We've came a little bit further now, hammering down definitions, and we're going to go over that. So, answering that question directly, Brees, I'm not sure. I'm just going to try to put out as much work as I possibly can to use it as a reference point, as like I said, a compendium of work to go back to. So hopefully that answers that. Let's take a sip of some coffee. And again, I forgot what I was about to do. I wanted to show that one. Okay. So, yeah, he who holds the pen, history is written by the victors type of deal. Let's actually do a little clip from Braveheart. Appreciate that, dude. Hey, you know what? I should actually play music right now. I could bring you guys into my YouTube studio. check out behind the curtain of the Page Shield that is Berserker Bear. I'm trying to do Philip Druzinen's accent. Page Shield. Berserker Bear is a Page Shield. Not that he says that. I just like the accent. Philip Druzinen is a legend. Go sub to his channel also. The crushing curmudgeon. That's a compliment, Phil. Crushing me like crushing the crushing curmudgeon. That's a compliment, homie. You know I respect all that work that you do, bro. Okay, YouTube Studio. Let's see if you guys can hear this. Make it a little bit more soothing because I like that content. You guys let me know if this is actually a good idea here. Just for audio. So I got this recorded, pre-recorded, and I could just use it for that. Yep, there you go. You guys know that. How's that? Hide this. Can you guys hear it? Let me know if it's too loud. Although that might not be a good idea. Official clips. We'll see. Okay, so bear with me and have some patience if I'm just going back and forth like this because kind of a last minute deal here. Okay. Clip from Braveheart. Stop kidding me. Yeah, we'll come back to that music.
I shall tell you of William Wallace.
So keep in mind
I shall tell you
that history is written by the victors, okay? This is a more serious one.
Historians from England will say I am a liar. History written by those who have hanged heroes. Historians from England will say I am a liar. But history is written by those who have hanged heroes.
Yes, we know that. They're Robert the Bruce. Always nudging toward pushing back on the system. So check back in the chat here. I'm always Sean Osborne says I'm always nudging toward pushing back on the system. Red light cameras. It's illegal to lay a homeless person who lives under the camera to hold a sign in front of the camera he sleeps under. Yeah. Not sure I follow, but yeah, I understand. Pushing back against the system is one thing. I'm completely against saying F the government and F all them. It's a tool and we need it. So it's just filled with a lot of bad people right now. Hold the line regarding that. I don't want to start talking about political fear porn though. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, Len Baird said the audio is breaking up in the clip a little bit. So let's play that one more time. I was kind of interrupting it.
I shall tell you of William Wallace. Historians from England will say I am a liar. But history is written by those who have hanged heroes.
All that I wanted to show there is that it's been known for a while that history is written by, those who dispatch of the hero. And then in another context, a more humorous way to look at that is from a movie. This is a absolutely hilarious clip. I know some people have reservations with Hollywood, especially it's like the debaucherous side of it, and a lot of Ryan Reynolds humor is that, but he's still kind of funny. So You're okay, Sean. No worries, man. You don't got to apologize. Just maintain. But I appreciate that. Okay. Waiting. You're fired.
Now, if you don't get your asses out front and start doing some work, I'm gonna fire you faster than you can say yo MTV Raps.
Yes, sir.
Oh, also, another thing. If I start getting broken up because I'm playing possible little clips of copyrighted material here, that did happen before when I did my Greek Fire, which is why I think that presentation was so disastrous, and why I labeled it Part One, because I got to do another presentation of Greek Fire. These cannons, guys. These cannons. Boy, brother, Paul Cook. But these were water nozzles also. That's my opinion, and that's another anomaly that I like to put out there. And if they were water nozzles too, well, then you could probably send pitch through them, and they were fire throwers too. Could it be? Anyway, so if it does break up, guys, let me know in the. Hey, what's up, Sheila Bear? Bible reading Bear. Good to see you. God bless. Thank you very much. I know you always want me to tell you. Sometimes I forget. So always good to see you, Sister Bear. Yeah, there you go. We got How Long Bear here too. Appreciate it, guys. All right, so when I play these clips, I learned the hard way last time that they could break up and give me like a copyright strike right in the middle of a live stream. Okay, so if that's the case, just if you don't mind, guys, please be on top of it. If you can, be in the chat. Let me know if it breaks up.
Hey, Dean. Have you thought about it? What is it, man?
No.
Golden opportunity down the toilet. And just so you know, hot dog, if you do come back, this job won't be here for you.
I hope you're right.
I am. You're fired.
Bye. I mean, I already quit, so.
No, you're fired. I write the book, okay? Here's how it went down. You walked in, you're fired.
All right, and thanks for being so sure about this and professional.
I was very professional. You're fired.
Absolutely hilarious. Here you go. That actor's funny too.
You're fired.
Bye. I mean, I already quit, so.
No, you're fired. I write the book, okay? No, you're fired. I write the book, okay?
I write the book, okay? History is written by those who have killed heroes. It's a concept that's shown in a couple different ways there for you. I thought it was pretty funny. So that's it. That's what I'm sifting through here as far as history in this region. So, like I said, it was not Niagara Falls that was known as New Jerusalem. I did misspeak there in the interview with Woody. But Grand Island was formerly known as Ararat or New Ararat. And let's do hip fire here. It's like this Grand Island. And it was a community for Jews. Ararat, city of refuge. See? And not much history on this stuff. I got to, cursory research, like I like to present to you guys, which is kind of what 99% of people do when they're going to do stuff like I show you looking up on Google, right? That's so E3HN. If you keep on throwing spam here, it's gonna. Hello. Yeah, 3H. If you keep throwing these things up, you're gonna get banned. The audio is super bad. Yeah, so if you know what, let me go turn off the fan here. I'll play another clip of something long, and hey, if the audio is bad, I'll come back tomorrow. We do have some wind outside right now. Maybe that's the case. So I apologize. Audio is wonky. How bad? Let's see here. Motivation Oh, I see. Okay, it is a little bit wonky. Let's see if I can fix it on the fly. Yeah. Oh, what? How dare you? Are you saying that I need an Ethernet cable? I got one. Let's do. Bear with me 1 second. Okay. I'm sorry about this. If it goes horribly bad, I'll just go live again another time. It is. I wasn't even planning on this, so it's better now. Okay. Cool. Thank you. Yeah. Let's. I just wanted to show that effectively. I didn't have. Again, I didn't. When I go live, I don't necessarily always have an outline. But I do have a lot of pictures, and I did want to show the history of the buffalo. But I'm going to go turn off my fan. I'll show another little bit of a long clip. Hey, Sheila, check this out. Bible reading bear. So this is a panorama, a royal panorama. Now it says views of Falls of Niagara and the city of Jerusalem. Can you believe that? It does look kind of similar. You know, with Big Bear talking to Howdy a couple days ago about the south of France, there was some serious stuff going on here too in Western New York. Okay, thank you. So I'm getting reporting back that it sounds better. How does it sound for you, How Long Bear? Since you just got only audio. Yeah, what say you to that one, Sheila Bear? Yeah, exactly. She says, "What? Wow." And for those who are just listening, the link for this picture is in the description of my last video. It's a side by side or one on top of another of a huge panorama of the Niagara Falls, both the American Falls and the Canadian Horseshoe Falls. And below it, it's a picture of a panoramic of Jerusalem. And I think that's the Wailing. Is that the Wailing Wall? 49? No, of course, I ask if it's the Wailing Wall, number 49. And it's got a key on it as well, meaning that it shows all the locations as to what we're looking at. So what I thought was the Wailing Wall was actually the state prison. Anyway, let's see. Okay, this could be a fitting little clip here. This is the Horn of Helm Hammerhand clip from Lord of the Rings. And pay attention when Gimli is blowing the horn. Okay, and I think it's like a visual double entendre in that it means two things. In that you can see that there's chaos going on and things are falling apart when the horn goes on, and obviously what's happening in the movies. It's a metaphor for I think what happened at Jericho. Prism sidewalks. Yep, I've done that before. I got a video on that. People in the chat. Bible Reading Bear says, my area in southern Illinois is called Little Egypt. Yeah, see, there you go. I think that we came back here. Now, let's say my grandiosity. This is all ruins. I think I have pictures of ruins all over this country, and I think that it was all overgrown. Ruins. There you go. You see that, Chad? You're a legend, bro. This is a website that's called Calisphere University of California. I got it from Brees, and it's got pictures of old America, and they just look like ruins. I mean, this is the Casa Grande. This is still here, but look at that. I can understand when people say this stuff looks melted. However, I disagree. But okay, so I'll keep this window open, and let me play that clip that I was going to play. The Horn of Helm Hammerhand. Keep in mind vibrations. I'll also play another clip from MythBusters regarding the Tesla Quake machine. So we got I got a lot of gravy to ladle here, and it'll be back and forth, no real rhyme or reason. So thanks for sticking with me. I'm going to play this. I'll turn the fan off. Hopefully that helps the audio. Who knows? I'll be back. Notice what's happening now when the second horn goes. Notice what's happening with the orcs on the bridge in a cascade fashion. I mean, obviously they're falling off, but wow. At first light of the third day, look to the west. If I said Gandalf. So this is, let's extrapolate this a little bit now. I'll bring up something that father said to me back in the day, because he's a movie buff also, and he would say that, you know, anything that you see on the screen, the director intends for you to see it. Okay, but unless it's like a mic boom drop into the screen or whatever. But if you see it visually, there's a reason for it. The director wants to show that to you, whether it's physical, you actually see it happening, the actual mechanics of it happening, like them falling off or the door breaking when he rings the horn for the first time, and then secondly, they all fall off in a cascade fashion. And I never forgot that when my dad said that. Look at the layers on this thing. Are you serious? I'm talking right now. Like, look at that. The strata. Crazy. So yeah, things are intended to, if you see it or you think it, it's possible that the director wanted you to think that. So that's what I think when I see that clip. It's like, is it reference to, you know, the black the black noise machine that I've done before? We'll show clips of that also. Get your gravy and your popcorn. We'll be here for a little bit. Cascade fashion. Gandalf. Yeah, that's a. So I read these books when I was younger. I read The Hobbit. I was just talking about this the other day at my parents' house. I read The Hobbit. My dad gave me The Hobbit when I was in either 6th or 7th grade. And you know when you get assignments from school and you have a book that's like real thin and you got to read it, takes you months. Well, back in the day, it did for me. I was such a procrastinator, but I was so happy that I read The Hobbit in like 1 week. Okay, I like zoomed through it, and I was like, Dad, I finished it, you know. And he's like, good for you. That's awesome, you know. I mean, good for you. And he's like, but you know, if you thought that was cool and that was a good story, you should read Lord of the Rings. And I'm like, what? Better than Bilbo in his story? He's like, yeah, Bilbo's got a great story, but Frodo goes all the way. So that always stuck with me. Those are great books, and Jackson did a great job in showing Tolkien's world and his mind in video. Not a lot of directors are good at moving a book to a movie, especially if it's that visceral for a author like Tolkien. Those movies are amazing. Okay, what was I going to show? All right, okay, so yeah, this is going to be the interest of my the focus of my next couple of videos. I'm going to hammer here. So let's show you, for example, why, and then we'll get into playing these. I'm all over the place here. Bear with me. So what I'm going to do now is look up. There might be vaults underneath Niagara Falls, and I'll give a shout out to Brees there. We've been talking about this. We go back and forth with our research here, and I'm going to pull up a picture right quick, and I want you guys to tell me what you think. I've showed it before. Well, you could time to actually go to my IG. Okay, so if you go to my YouTube channel on the top picture, bottom right of my top picture will bring you to my IG, okay, and my Odyssey backup. So I don't know if you could see over here, bottom right, there you go. Takes you to my IG, and this will be a little bit quicker than sifting through my desktop. I should have had it already. But I recommend coming here. I do share a lot of stuff that I research on my YouTube channel over here. I mean, as you can see. I'm looking for one picture that is a cross-section of Niagara Falls and the old Sholkoff. Brees, when you said one of the quotes, the Great Wall, I'm not sure if you were referring to the actual cascade itself or the old Sholkoff Dam, because it looks like an old rampart or a bastion, shout out to Static, of a fort. And that's one thing that I believe, that this whole Niagara Falls section might have been an old fort. I think that it's possible that the American section of the falls was man-made. I think that that's a very distinct possibility. And I think that they may have did that to cover something up here. And if you ask me to prove that right now or show it back up, I'm going to be doing it again as a compendium of work going forward. So please just bear with me. And I'm going to tantalize your intrigue right now with some gravy, if I could find this picture. Of course, I can't. How's everybody doing in the chat? Cheer, Pacific Northwest 360, good to see you. Cheers to you as well, Skull. Oakland in the house. Hey, anybody needs to buy a house in Oakland, holler at that gentleman right there. Good to see you, Iron Man Bear. I'll give you a shout a little later, maybe possibly during lunch tomorrow. We'll catch up. Zara Laugh, good to see you, man. Skull, I still got to watch your videos, bro. I know that you hit me up on Beartaria. Dude, I'm sorry. I got so much work to do. So please don't take it like I'm blowing you off. Yo, Brees, remember this one? Peep game. This is the colony of Georgia. Looks like they're digging it up. So look at that. It's a sea of, keep in mind what I'm going to tell you here. It's a sea of green, a forest of green. And you got some heavy components going on here. You got what looks to be like an incline. Keep that incline in mind. The Lewiston incline. Okay, I know it's here somewhere. Bear with me. Look at it. Where's Paulo at? Is this thing putting the fire out or causing the fire? Huh? Huh? Greek fire? Grease fire? Look at these things. These things were water nozzles. Guys, come on. Cannons. Look at that. It's you guys are hard pressed to tell me otherwise. They had all the components available at the time to be able to do what you see here back in Constantinople, fall of Constantinople, 1400s? Definitely. Okay, so we're still looking for the Niagara Falls. More work that proves, or more work that leads to the idea that Phoenicians were here. That's Mystery Hill. That's a sunsplash. And I got more ideas. Okay, here we go. That's the electric railroad that went down in the gorge. Showcasing Tesla's electricity. Buffalo was the first city lit by Tesla's lights. Okay, let's see. We're looking for a cross-section picture. See, I shared this before. Look at. This is important. Hutchings, California scenes, methods of mining. This is all they had to do, guys, is canal water, which they had capability of in the 1400s. Drop it down, all mechanical. You don't even need a pump. You don't even need Hero of Alexandria's steam pump. You could just drop it, and it creates its own pressure, a tremendous amount of pressure. And if you think, I hate to be antagonistic with this, but if people think that a general wouldn't utilize a technology like that, when I addressed before that they had ancient, let's do hip fire here. Okay. Hush mining. Hushing. Historic mining method used to flood or torrent of water to reveal mineral veins, metalliferous metal veins. We've been talking about that with Big Bear. Are they those look like veins? Are they the veins of the fallen watchers? If it's not plate tectonics, what is it? And let's just show this. Keep this in mind. This is from Dan Carlin, his in-depth on the Mongolian Tartars. Keep in mind ancient hush mining. And like I just said, if a general had this available to him, they would definitely do it, and they did, obviously. Even the Tartars did. Dan Carlin.
Cannon fodder. In this case,
it's really synchronistic that talking about water and hushing, that he starts this off the clip, because I just had an audio clip it. A pro tip for y'all on your phone, I utilize it a lot. Do not disturb, screen record. It's unbelievably clutch. That's how I obtained something like this, because this playlist is no longer available on YouTube. He put it on a paywall. So,
cannon fodder. In this case, they have this very dangerous idea to dam up the Yellow River and then unleash the water.
What was that, Dan? Go again, your last?
To dam up the Yellow River and then unleash the water onto one of the cities that they're besieging. They don't have siege weapons, but they can use the river. They don't want to conduct this dam building themselves because it's extraordinarily dangerous. So they make all these civilians that they captured do it, and halfway through the process, the dam bursts.
Benevolent Tartarians, man, they're making their slaves build dams so they can hush out another city. Listen to this. This is Dan Carlin. He is an extremely good historical researcher. I'm not sure his credentials as far as does he have a history degree. I know for a fact that I'm not sure if you can see that map above my right shoulder here. A gentleman who has a history degree up in Toronto, Neil Joubert, solid friend. He certainly has a history degree. And if he was available right now, I would pull him in to this conversation, because not only does he have a history degree, he is totally hip to the research that I do, and he wants to know what's going on with what Toronto Joubert thinks is going on here is that it was a mining operation gone bad. Now, when I find that, okay, here we go, hushing. Keep in mind that Ancient mining. Okay, this is like ancient, old school stuff here. There you go. First century BC. They are able to do this stuff first century BC. So that's why I make the assumption, or that this is that the cannons were also nozzles, massive nozzles, and they would use them to take it city and hush it. They say in the mainstream that they just use it for mining. Okay, that's why I make the connection of a general. If he had the availability, anything, all means necessary, if you will. And it's proven with Dan Carlin's right here. This guy's he's a great researcher. I'm not sure if he has historical credentials as far as your higher learning goes, or your bottleneck of academia, or your Dunning-Kruger. I went to school. This is how the Dunning-Kruger goes. It's happened in my personal life. I dropped out of college, whatever. I still passed high school, never failed a grade, never went to summer school. But I did drop out of community college, so I'm sure that's the case with a lot of people. So don't second guess or knock yourself for it, because I went through the school of hard knocks as far as history goes. I've been researching it ever since I can remember. History Channel back in the day, Discovery Channel back in the day. Anyway, when I say Dunning-Kruger, or for example, you got legends like this dude, Level Earth Observer. Big fan of this guy. When he references the term Dunning-Kruger a lot, and let's just do that. In a general sense, we can look it up here on Google, but I will distill it for you as well. Dunning-Kruger effect. Okay, Dunning-Kruger effect in psychology, a cognitive bias whereby people with limited knowledge or competence in a given intellectual or social domain greatly overestimate their own knowledge or competence in that domain relative to objective criteria or to the performance of their peers or the people in general. So, what that means is, for example, because I just explained to you that I didn't go to finish college at a community college. So some might say that if someone has their law degree and went to school for 6 years, higher learning, law degree, had a major, had a minor, 2 minors, whatever, you can't. I've been doing hard knocks, boots on the ground history research for a while now. The Dunning-Kruger effect is like, oh, someone with that higher learning background says, I can't listen to you and what you're putting forward because I went to college for 6 years, even though it's completely unrelated to what you're doing, because you didn't go through that higher learning peer review, regurgitate everything that you hear process. I completely just scoff you off and don't take what you say into account whatsoever. That's the Dunning-Kruger effect, and unfortunately, it runs rampant in pretty much every aspect and niche of our society right now. So I would just say, with that, hold the line. If people get that in your own life and everything, just maintain a professional nature about it and keep doing your research, because your work will speak for itself. He will be known by his fruits. So anyway, let's listen to this one more time in its entirety. Get that idea out there that even the Mongols were able to dam up a river, redirect it, and have it rush over or hush over an area. It might be where they get, these the others, whatever, get the Illuminati, where they go like this, hush, hush. I know it means a secret, but there's also a lot of double entendres, visual double entendres. It means more than one thing. Okay, Dan Carlin on the Mongols using rivers to completely wipe off a village.
And fodder. In this case, they have this very dangerous idea to dam up the Yellow River and then unleash the water onto one of these cities that they're besieging. They don't have siege weapons, but they can use the river. They don't want to conduct this dam building themselves because it's extraordinarily dangerous, so they make all these civilians that they've captured do it, and halfway through the process, the dam bursts.
Okay, so we got that one hammered down. hushing is an ancient and historic mining method used. Uh, let's start that over again. Hushing is an ancient mining and historic oh my goodness. Hushing is an ancient and historic mining method using a flood or torrent of water. Sound familiar? To reveal mineral veins. The method was applied in several ways, both in prospecting for ores and for their exploitation. So, what do you guys think here? Oh my goodness. What voiceover? Is there a laugh? It's got to be the wind outside with this connection where it's a pretty bad storm. We might have another um, stage in the lake. I can understand why Big Bear gets nothing against you, Zaraleth. Not all, I want the feedback, but that's one thing. Not having an outline going back and forth, even though it's a little bit cumbersome and burdensome and hectic a little bit, I can deal with that. For some reason, okay, for some reason the audio really, if it's wrong, it's a pet peeve. Okay, let's stay on track here. Also, look at like stuff like this. This is for a clip that Brees sent me from a Jared Boosters video for about when is this from? August 13th. So just one video where, Brees is paying attention and he just looks and it's like, what's going on here? You guys see what I'm talking about? Are those cannons or are those the nozzles? Also, the picture here is saying that it was burned or something like that. The whole burning of a city, I forget which it is. So let's read my excerpt here when I posted this. From a recent Jared Boosters video on the YouTube, big shout out and props to my homie and fellow crushing researcher, Mr. Brees, of course. He always is hunting and on the grind for clues, and this was a good one. Brees is also one of the only ones who gives my cannons were water monitors theory any credence. So he's got the eye out for them clues. These are huge. My opinion is that cities, towns, villages were torched and then washed out. So that's what I think. What we're seeing in these old videos or old pictures, or when you just have the chimney standing, that happened in Buffalo. I got some real gravy on that. But in my opinion, I think that what they would do is either torch them and then wash them out or hush them, or just hush them and spray. Use one of those nozzles like you see here, guys. Like I showed you, or you can just do it right here. Use one of those nozzles or cannons to wash the whole area out, and that would explain the mud. Like right here, see? This dude just... These things were huge. If they were as big as the Orbans and the Bombards, it could be a massive torrent of water, and it could actually produce stuff that looks like this, I believe, where chimneys are standing. Some people get confused, like John Levi. I'm not saying he's confused at all. Great researcher. When he says that what happened here, was this a fire? Was it the directed energy beam? Yeah, maybe it was a directed water beam. So another good clue here. Keep in mind, guys, if I believe that these things were getting washed out with water, what is this fence right here? What does that look like? Well, this is a picture of ancient mining and water mining they would do in Grand Canyon. I did go over that in that video that you see right here. I recommend, please, that you guys come check out these videos, because it's where I really hammer out the idea that cannons might have been water nozzles also. Okay, so you got bushwhacking the Grand Canyon. Watch that one. And there was another one that I had. Anyway, that's a really good presentation as to how I think that they were also water nozzles back in the day. Okay, hush it. Yeah, look at okay. Watch that video, yada yada. Appreciate it. Give a like and a share. There you go. Now look at that fence or barrier, if you will, and then look at that one. In this pic, I'm pretty sure in Jared Booster's video, this town or village was said to have been burned. It obviously definitely didn't say that it was hushed out by these water cannons, but I think that that's what happened. And you have a water wall right there, just like they used in mining. You can't hard pressed to tell me it's different. People are hard pressed to get me off of the idea that also you got the look at also you got the water wheels. Check this out. Another clue. Boom. See the wheel? Brees pointed those out. Had WTF. Great catch there. This is what I'm saying. Like this looks like it was a mining operation, but what they probably did was use the mining technology to turn it on the city. Are you guys with me on that? On that to the cows come home. Look at what's going on. Look at that. Water wheels. One size is different than the other. Guys, they would hush these cities out. Definitely. And then I can imagine it was called hushing because afterwards it's probably all crickets. Yeah, so Bible Reading Bear says, I never did buy cannons gravy. I definitely think, well, they certainly do fire cannonballs. I think that's one thing that's lost on people when they hear me say that cannons were also not. I say also. I think they might think that I'm saying they weren't shooting cannonballs at all. No, they definitely were. They were probably retrofitted. When you see the back cap on them, why were they capped? Like if you're going to shoot a projectile out of one end with that type of force, you shouldn't have a cap on the other end. It could catastrophically fail. Okay, so let's get back to vaults in Niagara Falls. If I can find it. Look at this legend. That's Sam Patch right there, and he would jump off crazy things back in the day. I think he's one of the first. He's considered the first American daredevil, actually. So, all right, let's go. Gravy in the falls, riddles in the water. I think the water has a healing property. I think that the Emerald Channel is is a clue to that. Oh my goodness, guys, why can't I find it? Okay, so I am at my IG, scrolling down through all my pictures to try to find the one image of a cross section of Niagara Falls that does show what looks to be a vault, and I want to hear what you guys have to say about it. So how is the audio coming through? Everybody good over here in the chat? Thanks again for, yeah, so Vander Swan, Jared Boosters does do great videos. His presentations are really, really spot on. Very good. I look up to stuff like that. I'm not as polished as these guys are. Some of these guys are. Oh, you guys wonder why I'm Berserker Bear? If you haven't seen that one already, this is my father's DNA thing. I did not do it. My dad is Kevin. My brother's name is Kevin too. He's my older brother, but I'm the bigger brother. As a matter of fact, it was your boy right there. It's Berserker Bear Young, and that's my brother Kevin. But now he's my smaller older brother, as I caught up to him and surpassed. So, yeah, my father is 50% Scandinavian, and my great grandfather was born in Oslo, so that's Norway. I don't just say my name Berserker Bear just for the name of it. It's in the blood. Here it is, guys. Okay, goes gravy. So what we're looking at here is just what you see, the greatest engineering triumph of the age. Yeah, that's possible, or there might be analog. So White Raven says, I think Odin possibly may have been Moses, or I would also say maybe Melchizedek. He's a very interesting character. Matter of fact, I tell you guys to watch this video. That's why I like the hip fire aspect of this. Odin Melchizedek. Okay. You guys know my faith. I don't like it to be overarching for my research, but it is foundational. Okay. I'm going to try to segregate it when I present my research, but you guys know I'm Christian, heathen adjacent. I'll explain that. But watch this video right here. He explains the connection between Odin, Melchizedek, Moses, and how they're all kind of telling the same story. Now, with that, I still think that these were real men, like Odin, Jesus Christ, obviously, my savior. Muhammad, obviously. Odin, I think, was maybe an older version of that, maybe. Don't know. But I certainly recommend this dude. Watch Odin and the Order of Melchizedek, that video on YouTube. He breaks it down really well. Okay. White Raven, thank you. Yeah, so heathen adjacent just means that when you see, for example, my IG profile, well, let's look at this first, but I'm a heathen adjacent Islamo-Christian. Heathen because I do appreciate, as you see, my father was born in Oslo, or my great-grandfather was born in Oslo. That's Odin right there. And my dad's 50% Scandinavian, so I appreciate the Norse mythology. Not only is it very interesting, it's part of my blood. So that's where the Berserker Bear comes from. And I do kind of, well, not anymore, but I do got a quick temper. Working on it. Okay, so that aside, what you're looking at now is it's a better version there. This is what I have on screen now for those just listening is a picture of the greatest engineering triumph of the age. And what it is a cross section of a diagram showing the Niagara water power tunnel that goes under Niagara Falls. Okay, so now I'm showing Niagara Falls on the screen. Now, what would that be a cross section of? Is this area right here, guys? Okay. Picture that we're just going all the way down and under the ground, and that's what you see. Now, does anybody see the anomaly that I'm talking about? Everything else is marked. You have from the viewing point tower to the bedrock to the actual canal. They're all delineated. They're all marked on the actual diagram itself down to the actual lower river level. Say that 3 times fast. And the tunnel itself is marked and delineated. So is the bedrock. But right in the middle, smack dab in the middle, there's like a void above the tunnel. And when I say void, I mean it looks exactly like a vault. And there's no marking of it. There's no detail as to what it is. So I'm like, what is going on here? There's gravy here, and then there's also another void under the city itself. You guys can see, like, I just don't know what's going. Look, it's long, rectangular shaped. Now, if that doesn't give motivation to want to research, I don't know what will. It's like, what is absolutely going on there? Keep in mind something is going on here, guys. And I'm not just saying that to placate to your emotions there, or in your intrigue for inquiry, as I like to say. But there is something going on here, and I am going to research it until I keel over. So let's go back into the chat. You need to go. Okay, so Breeze Bear says, yeah, Rad Bear should be. He might even be in here. You need to go in there with Rad Bear. Yeah, definitely. I would certainly like to do that, Mr. Priest. That's kind of my aim here, and then I can get, Neil Toronto Jew Bear reporting in from the other side because he's Canada. So yeah, and here, look at this article, guys. Another article in Buffalo. What's hidden underground? The streets of Buffalo is unexpected but awesome. Most Buffalonians, ourselves included, walk the streets and sidewalks of the Queen City without giving a second thought to what lies underneath their feet. Well, I do. Something major is hidden under those silver city grates, and it's pretty amazing. No, it's not a team of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, although some of that movie was filmed on our streets. There are thousands of vaults and tunnels hidden under the streets of Buffalo that date back to the origins of the city. It's completely unexpected and completely awesome. And the video was removed. Brees, you know that. Sorry if I get a little bit of a lag here, guys. Give me a heads up. Yeah, something massive and massive. Yeah, there you go. Isabella Live 2.0. How is my connection, y'all? So keep this article in mind, and then you have a picture like this. It says vaults. It says tunnels. I mean, we got tunnels right there. We have something that looks like a vault. Like, it's unbelievable. Okay, so without further ado, let's listen to these things. We're gonna 1, 2, 3 clips. This is from a. Let's show you where this is from. Actually, let's source the material. Black Rock. Going on my freaking computer right now. Black. I'm gonna give you guys an idea where you can find the video that I'm going to be using clips from. Black Rock. Oh, it's the real estate thing. Anybody has questions? Yeah. Paul Cook, what's up? Oi, brother. I was talking about you earlier, giving you a shout out, man, about the ruins. Yeah, we'll definitely link up, man. I think I had your email before, but yeah, we'll compare notes, dude. Good to see you, man. I appreciate you stopping by. Always. Okay, Andrea D says good connection. Thank you. Appreciate the feedback. Okay, so Black Rock, New York history. Gotta be kidding me. Black Rock. Everything thinks it's about the real estate company. I can care less about that. Okay, here it is right here. The Black Rock and Buffalo conflict. Okay, the clips, the first 3 clips that I'm going to play right now is from this video right here. And it's fitting because it's got a cannon right there. It's pretty crazy. Okay, so let's do that and give some more historical context on top of what I just read last time, because I'm trying to lay out a foundation here for just what Mr. Brees said. Get there and get the boots on the ground. So again, pro tip, I'm sure Paul Cook knows this one. For your phones, hit that do not disturb screen record, and that's how I obtain these clips. Keep in mind ruins, keep in mind forest of green. keep in mind LiDAR. Let's go.
Toledo, Ohio had yet to be named, and it consisted of only one building and the ruins of an abandoned fort. Toledo, Ohio had yet to be named, and it consisted of only one building and the ruins of an abandoned fort. While Chicago was but a distant military outpost on the shores of a prairie ocean. Only Detroit, which had been settled by the French in the early 1700s, had any.
I was just going to say for the time range, this is around the early to mid 1700s where he's talking about and how these cities were in the landscape. Sorry about that.
Only Detroit, which had been settled by the French in the early 1700s, had any real substance. Both sides of the Detroit River were quilted with small fields of prosperous farms, and the town itself, with its high palisades and Fort Shelby, was by far the most developed area on the upper Great Lakes. One such story takes place along the Niagara frontier in the early years of the 19th century. One such story takes place along the Niagara frontier in the early years of the 19th century. At this time, the Great Lakes above Niagara Falls were still surrounded by a forest wilderness of a vastness that is hard to comprehend, and the tall cities of today were at their humblest beginnings. Buffalo, New York was hardly more than 80 buildings located near the mouth of the Niagara River, and located near the mouth of the Niagara. Buffalo, New York was hardly more than 80 buildings
Hardly more than 80 buildings. Okay, keep that in mind.
Located near the mouth of the Niagara River and the gateway to the upper Great Lakes. Erie, Pennsylvania consisted of almost 100 buildings, cradled deep in the arms of the Presque Peninsula. And Cleveland, Ohio was but a peppering of dwellings where the Cuyahoga River snakes into Lake Erie. Buffalo, Erie, Cleveland, these were but seedling villages planted in clearings hacked out of the forest.
Clearings hacked out of the forest. Did you hear that? Let's listen to it again.
Peppering of dwellings where the Cuyahoga River snakes into Lake Erie. Buffalo, Erie, Cleveland, these were but seedling villages planted in clearings hacked out of the forest.
And let's go for 3.
That I find so fascinating, that I would like to share it with others. One such story takes place along the Niagara frontier in the early years of the 19th century. At this time, the Great Lakes above Niagara Falls were still surrounded by a forest wilderness of a vastness that is hard to comprehend. And the tall cities of today that I find so fascinating that I would like to share it with others. One such story takes place along the Niagara.
Anyway, okay, so you got that context. Now let's go into a little bit more of the little bit later on, 1812 area, the radial street patterns of Buffalo, Ellicott, Erie Canal, why it was so important. We're going to listen to this gentleman talk about it, and you can find this. You'll be able, let me see if everything's good here. Okay, yep. Let's go back to my YouTube channel. No, actually, my subs. It's Erie County. How's everybody doing? Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, you deserve that, Paul. Thank you, bro. Erie, A, B, C, D, E. Okay, so this is the county that I'm in right now is Erie County. They do a lot of just a whole bunch of news stuff and showing what's going on in the county, yada, yada, yada. They also showcase some research, and I just happened upon one day to, as it goes, you know, synchronistically, you just start watching one video and it happens to be some serious gravy. Where's the large? Okay. We're going to show excerpts that are a video from this channel about, I believe it's a UB professor talking about historical buffalo. So when I did my reading, it was about the 1700s, mid 1700s, late 1700s, and the French and the fur trade and the encroaching British. So chronologically, this kind of fits right in, and I figured it'd be a good time to show it. So let's listen to what this guy's got to say about the War of 1812, what I think was the last hard mechanical, if you will, reset of this area, and history being obfuscated the whole time, but we have to weigh it against the mainstream. So we also have to incorporate that into our research, and that's what I like to put out there. So does Paul. Paul Cook is solid with that too. Let's see. Come back in the chat. Good to see you, Andrea D. Good to see you, Sean Osborne. Good to see you. Bible reading Bear says that she just got some more tea. Don't tell Bear, pelagic Bear. Oh, Gina. Okay. Paul, we were just talking about how cannons could be. Yeah, you know that I'm all about that, Paul. I know that you when you put the video, your Star Fort one or your Valbon style fort, and you know, good on you for proposing that question. But what I plant my flag on, and I don't do that often, you know, I'm not. It's not even a claim really, but I think they were water nozzles, and also your waterfall video, Paul. Shite. I can actually check it out right now. I'll plug you right now, dude. Just meet me halfway, bro. And you did. You have. You hooked me up. And I appreciate that. So Paul Cook, come check him out. 100 and his video. Dude, I'm talking about the video that you did reading your the waterfalls, and Paul, the massive pump that you said might be able to be used. So that pump could have been used to actually supply to do hushing in the New World, if or maybe. I don't know how old, like if it was a dynamo, hydraulic dynamo, those are turn of the century, 100 years ago. They could be using a pump like that to flood out an area. Maybe. Okay, what was I going to show here? Waterfall. Okay, yes. All right, so my reading did the 1700s, mid and late 1700s fur trade, French, had to get past the cataracts of the Niagara Falls in order to get and gain access into the lucrative fur pelt market. So a linchpin, this area, Buffalo, Western New York, the Western Door, was an absolute linchpin for that market 100, 150 years ago. Just absolute gravy. The way in was right here. That's why we were the door to the West. So let's get a little bit more historical context from a UB professor. 1, 2, 3. Bang, bang.
At the end of the Revolutionary War, Western New York was covered with dense forests.
Okay, so this is 6 minutes, and you guys are going to learn a lot here. So bear with me. I'll shut up, and I'm going to go say hello to the missus and my little girl, and we'll let this play. And yeah, if nothing else, you guys are going to learn something. So that's what you get.
And Indian villages. And in 1797, a person by the name of Robert Morris, he was a Philadelphia banker who had helped finance the Revolutionary War and recognized the value of land in Western New York. They purchased the entire area west of the Genesee River from Lake Ontario to the Pennsylvania border. This transaction took place at Geneseo and was called the Treaty of Big Tree, since the Big Tree Reservation was at the site, and Big Tree was the Indian chief's name at the time. This land purchased by Robert Morris was purchased by a group of wealthy Dutch merchants and financiers from Holland, and called the Holland Land Company back over here. Wilhelm Willink was a major person or major employee of the Holland Land Company, and he was the head person that really financed and helped coordinate the purchase of land with the Holland Land Company. In fact, if you look at some of your property deeds on your home, that title would most likely be traced back to Wilhelm Willink and the Holland Land Company. One positive effect of that is we are fortunate in Western New York to have a clear property title on our deeds traced back to that time. So when we do transact a house or transact property, we generally have a clear knowledge of title and a clear knowledge of any problems or any easements or any intricacies in the deeds that may be a problem in sale of transactions. So we can thank the Holland Land Company and Wilhelm Willink for that clear vision of title in properties from the Holland Land Company time to today. Now, Joseph Ellicott, he became a large player in all this. Joseph's brother Andrew was the Survey General of the United States, and Joseph Ellicott joined his brother Andrew and his other brother Benjamin to create a surveying company, which was developed and hired to survey all the lands of the Holland Land Company. The idea was to survey the land, to subdivide the land, and eventually to sell the land because they wanted to make money. There was no use of just owning the property. They needed to subdivide it and move ahead and create some type of profit with it. So prior to its management by Ellicott, the area had developed very little, but he had foreseen the potential of New Amsterdam, which he liked to call it. The inhabitants preferred to the name Buffalo Creek. So before coming to Buffalo, Ellicott needed satisfactory living quarters to be built. So he sold 150 acres to a person by the name of Asa Ransom, with the stipulation that he would build an inn for travelers, which he subsequently did at the foot of the East Hill, which is now Clarence Hollow, and which currently exists. Now, Joseph Ellicott moved his office there in 1801, and then shortly in 1802, he moved his office to Batavia, where he established the main company of Western New York, and the building of which still stands today. Now, Ellicott was advised by the Holland Land Company to proceed with selling off tracts of land in their purchase rather than laying out New Amsterdam. But Ellicott shortly realized that we have to develop, transportation is important. We have to develop some type of transportation, some type of road system throughout this area. So he realized that the future of Western New York was in Buffalo, not in Batavia. So he decided to establish a road system that he felt would spur economic development, which had currently not met expectations. He liked the concept of running avenues at acute angles like spokes radiating from a hub, an idea first implemented by the Ellicott brothers at the federal capitol in Washington, D.C. So when the time came to lay out Buffalo streets, Ellicott used the same system spreading from a hub that is Niagara Square today. This is an old map of the Holland Land Company purchase. The Genesee River is over here. So basically everything west of the Genesee River, all the counties of Western New York were part of the Holland Land Company purchase. Here's a picture of Joseph Ellicott at the time, kind of a burly, husky type of guy, good as a surveyor. And here's some of the just a little brief information about surveyors and the equipment that they use. These are called surveyors' chains. Now, one chain from about here to here, the length of one chain is 7.92 inches. Now, why would it be 7.92 inches? Well, 100 of these chains would equal 66 feet. Now, in road reconstruction and road terminology, 66 feet is equivalent to 4 rods, it's called. You may have heard the expression, this is a 4-rod road, this is a 2-rod road, this is a 3-rod road. Well, if 4 rods were 66 feet and it was at 100 chains, 2 rods, half of that, would be 33 feet or 50 chains, and so forth. 1 rod, 2 rods, 3 rods, which was the basic type of measurements that surveyors used back then, and we still do today. We still use a rod designation for roadway width. But that was the standard roadway back then, 2 rods or 4 rods. And I think through Alden, Lancaster area, you'll come across 2-rod road and 3-rod road. So this is the designation of where that came from. Steel tape. This is some of the measuring tools that were used in his era. Of course, a compass. You needed a compass to find out where north was. Where was magnetic north? And many of the surveys and property lines were established off of true north and magnetic north. Of course, a protractor and a type of ink pens and other types of measuring devices. And of course, the use of geometry and trigonometry was very important to surveyors in calculating property boundaries and road boundaries and turning angles and such and trying to get the proper and precise measurements. This is one of the first maps of what was called the village of New Amsterdam at the time. You can see the center part of the spoke of the wheel, so to speak, was right around this area, which is where Niagara Square is today. Here's a little bit better one a year later, labeled the Buffalo Village, 1805. You can see some of the street names where we're given many type of Dutch influences or Native American and Indian names. Some of the names still exist today. Many of them don't still exist. But again, Ellicott's design was a centralized area.
Native names like Tonawanda, Skajakwita, Cheektowaga, they're all over this area.
Niagara Square in this area, and the streets just radiated out like a spoke of a wheel. Delaware Avenue, which is Delaware Street at the time, kind of went
There you go, radial street patterns.
vertically, almost due north from the center of the spoke. Here's that same area today. Downtown Buffalo is here, and Delaware Avenue, which is Route 384, spreading north.
Notice how you lose after the gridiron street pattern is laid over what I think was a found radial pattern, and I'm going to show an example of why I think that in a second. They're hiding, I think, what was the radial street pattern grid. Even though it is acknowledged by the academia that Buffalo was made with the radial street pattern in mind from Ellicott, who turned crazy later on in life allegedly and offed himself, as it goes. You impose what's the name of the term? Give credit to somebody and then you make them go crazy. Allegedly, could it be? We get it. I think we know what's going on here. Let's go.
And the other streets, Sycamore, Buffalo, William, Clinton, all extending out radiating from the hub, which was Niagara Square. Here's a close-up of Niagara Square, Buffalo City Hall, pretty much as it exists today. Any more questions there, Katie?
Okay, so I kind of just made a little bit of a bold claim there, but let's back it up now. Can you guys see everything good? We got 31 people here. I appreciate it. Please make sure to hit the thumbs up, guys. That really does help out, and I'm almost at 7,000 subs, so that too. Let's peep game right here. Who's going live? Crow 777 just went live. Okay. Another hookup from Brees was you guys got my audio? Is everything okay? I don't see any oh, okay, here we go. For some reason the posts aren't coming through. Okay, Library of Congress, and this is the panoramic map collection. If you can see again over my right shoulder, that map is this map. Now I'm going to draw your attention to a geographical feature that might be considered an escarpment, because we have an escarpment here in Buffalo, but now this is Cleveland, 1877. Okay, thank you, Paul. You guys are good. All ears. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Because it's really nerve-wracking when you're doing, even though I don't even, well, even more so that I don't have an outline. All right, Cleveland. This is a close-up of the picture you see on my back right. All I want to do is draw your attention to this. Could be a reason why they said everything was a mud flood, but I think there's an inversion. Just let me know if you guys see or notice anything, even from a distance. From a distance. Okay. Now, I'm not sure geographically speaking with what's going on in Cleveland, but I do know that there is the Niagara escarpment which created the falls. If that's going on here, that is explainable. But it looks to me actually like, see how it's different color? I it looks like it was removed. Okay. Think of it in terms of it wasn't a mud flood, but rather a removal. So that could still be a mud flood because it's still being washed away. Now, let me also draw your attention to this legend. Casey hooked me up with a concert at Art Park, matter of fact, which is up here near Lewiston in this very location. Art Park is a cool concert area learning center at Lower Niagara Gorge, and they do have concerts there. And I did go see Dropkick Murphys and the who was Dropkick Murphys and Rancid, and it was compliments on Golden Gate Starfort Command is a roadie out of obviously San Fran, and he's hip to the research in the old world. And one of his posts actually detail these cannons, these hydraulic cannons. So look at this guy gets it, gets it. Shout out to Casey, Golden Gate Starfort Command, if you're around, brother. Here we go. Check this out. Washing mountains out to sea. Okay, let's do this, guys. I still got to show those other clips, but I'm trying to build a presentation here. Overgrow. Okay. So that's not a mud flood. Okay, White Raven says my sound's good. I'm in the basement here too. The furnace goes on and off like Home Alone. It's right in front of my face. It's an old school furnace, so I wonder if you guys hear that or not. But I appreciate the feedback on the sound. Thank you. So, what do you guys see here? Obviously, it's a step pyramid, South Mesoamerica. Obviously, it's very similar to the mastaba. Well, I like definitions, guys. You guys got to know the terms. We got to know the terms. Mastaba is a step pyramid. Djoser, they're proto pyramids, allegedly before the flat-sided ones. Mastaba step pyramid. Of course, modern or mainstream academia says that there's no connection whatsoever. Parallel thinking, you know what I mean? Anyway, Dunning-Kruger. Yeah, there you go, Dunning-Kruger. So again, what do you guys see here? No, as far as like the overgrowth and then the clearing of it. Okay, so what I think is going on here is this. What I just showed you. Mud flood is synonym for catastrophism, if you will, or like Philip and I have talked about. It's a process or a technology, excuse me, to either wash out an area or do something like this and wash it out to sea using that hushing technique. So you can take these hoses, these nozzles, and literally dissolve mountains into dust. Check out that video of mine. And it completely just levels an area now. Or you can remove, think of like a high pressure water nozzle. Okay, when you're doing it on your unilock, your sidewalk, and it just washes everything down. I think that we do that with this mud, and where it's overgrowth. You clear the trees first, and like I showed you in, sorry if I'm going back and forth quick here, guys, but stick with me, Captain. Stick with me, Captain. All right. I don't want to leave Casey's there, so let's go back to mine. I'm looking for a post of mine, so bear with me. How's everything going? Giant fire hoses. Yeah, exactly. White Raven, you get it. That's what I think. And they were, so if that's the case, then I think that they were like that in ancient times. So when they say that cannons were being used to shoot cannonballs, I have a hard time with that. Maybe they were also, but I think that they're hiding the fact that they were also being used to just do some real horrendous stuff. Think about a torrent of water. That's where the flooding might come from. I know definitely in my opinion, I believe the Bible story happened to flood. But then you get the whole idea of creation and the mimic of it, where if you don't know the technology and you don't know, this is 150 years ago. Even think about BC. You don't even know outside of your village, whatever. And if it could get flooded out by doing something like Dan Carlin, I'm telling you, if a general has the idea to do it, they're going to do it. They did it. If we think about it now, it's been thought about. They did it. I know this is all my opinion, and we're really going against the grain here with history, but I'm really going to sit down at that notion and say that they definitely did that. And it looks like they washed it out. I think they found this stuff, and it was here, keeping in mind the research I've showed with Barry Fell, Stephen M. Collins. If the Basques were here, if the Phoenicians were here, you got Mystery Hill, you got artifacts that Barry Fell, rest in peace, he wasn't able to complete his presentation on this. And maybe that's why it got shelved. We'll give him the professional benefit of the doubt. Ain't that right, Brees? We'll say maybe the Smithsonian forgot about this one, you know? So I forget what I was looking for. Goodness, I'm gonna forget. Look at this too. Another video that I have to do in the future. And sorry again if I'm going back and forth, but that's the Lake Erie ice boom. And it stops the ice from coming down the Niagara River. Because it just destroys docks and marinas and everything. So it's a massive thing, and I'm going to do a video on that soon too. All right, I'm not sure where I was going. That's a great song right there. Anybody who says, I get people don't like hip hop, I share hip hop on my IG for a reason. If you don't like it, just keep it moving. You don't gotta like it as far as hearting it. But not all hip hop, even though today it's very bad, was boom boom shit, if you will. Gangstar is probably one of the best hip hop groups ever. I've actually heard KRS-One in an interview say that. He was asked point blank, who's the best hip hop group ever? No hesitation, he said Gangstar. And I would agree with him. Rest in peace to Guru. So again, this is my IG. It's a part of my character. So with my character, you're going to get my research, you're going to get truth drops, and you're going to get really cool movies, clips of movies. For example, where's the cool one? Here you go. For example,
Son of a bitch is dug in like an Alabama tit.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man.
I ain't got time to bleed.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man.
I ain't got time to bleed.
Oh. Okay.
Legend. That is one of the best lines in all of cinema. I'll put that in the top 100, possibly top 150. Okay, so what else do I got? Yeah, think about the idea that they washed all this stuff out. Now, let me wrap up what I was thinking about the overgrowth. The mud flood you know, if you believe in the mud flood and that there was a one single liquefaction event, I did at one time too. But even I can't even actually say that though, because you know what? Let's be real here, and let's go to my YouTube and do this shit in real time. Okay, we'll do it live. Finish showing those clips too. So, how we doing over here? Can't feel down and listen to hip hop is the magic juice. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. You know. Listen, I bust balls. I grew up with a group of buddies that went hard and busted balls, and I get it. I understand some people don't like the hip hop. I understand some people don't like watching Hollywood, but that's why I underline when I share my IG, Brees, and I appreciate that, dude. That was funny. Um, yeah, just keep it moving. It's all good. I'm not gonna share any like real foul, horribly explicit stuff, but I will show some knowledge. So that's what it's all about. And then here, this is kind of funny too. Ready? This is a real quick clip. This is Immortal Technique. He's real abrasive, but he's one of the illest MCs that I've ever heard, and kind of fitting with what I'm doing here because I'm dropping some facts too. Ready? This is a real quick clip. Immortal Technique, the prophecy. Ready?
Dream of pushing kilos, but I drop tons of more facts, formulas, and philosophical logic than a basement full of scientists puffing on chronic. Dream of pushing kilos, but I drop tons of more facts, formulas, and philosophical logic than a basement full of scientists puffing on chronic. Dream of pushing.
Hard. I drop more facts, formulas, and philosophical logic than a basement full of scientists puffing on chronic. It's pretty funny. Okay. Yeah, that's my IG. Truth drops, uh, auxiliary research from my YouTube. So stuff like this as well. It's overgrowth. Okay, and it's fitting with what I'm putting together here with what you see in Cleveland. Again, that's my above my right shoulder. I have that map here. Thank you, Neil. And I think that they use stuff like this to do. Let's read. This is a post from Golden Gate Star Fork Command on IG, where it shows how these mining water monitors were used to completely mine the metalliferous veins in these mountains in the gold rush. So I'll read this actually right quick. Except for the bulldozer, there is probably no invention of man that did more to alter the Sierra landscape and the entire realm, the Sierra landscape than the hydraulic monitor. There goes a truth drop right there, which dissolved whole mountains and left scars, notably at Gold Run and Malakoff, which have not healed after a century. Isn't that indicative? Invented in 1852. Yeah, right. Monitors washed millions of dollars of gold from the higher elevations before they were finally turned off by legislation and prohibited dumping mining debris in rivers that emptied into Sacramento Valley. Yada yada. So that just tells you pretty much all you need to know right there. Lawsuits happened. These things washed mountains down. Okay. Now, mineral veins, let's get into that right quick. I think it's entirely plausible with what I said here that when you remove the trees and the rubbish from this stuff, for example, it will look like a mud flood. Okay. Man, it's just overgrowth. Remember the clip that I showed about a sea of green? I think this was ruins. So that's why I'm not taking anything away from the work that people are doing about the Pan Am and the queries that people have of the Pan Am. But with that, let's show this though. Like John Levi and stuff, yeah, definitely. But if the stuff was buried, I'm trying to put out the notion that if it was like if the ruins were found, if the radial street pattern was underneath ruins and overgrowth, then with that, I'm not taking anything away or trying to knock it down, but I don't find utility for me for my research to find or dive into like the buildings on top of the ground. Like, was it built with a Pan Am? Like, Was it an ancient civilization? Yeah, well, there could be proof of ancient civilization in the vaults and the tunnels and the articles that I read to you guys. So that's why my focus is more on foundational as opposed to the buildings above. I hope that you guys can understand that. Cool, White Raven. Yeah, whatever you got. Oh, no, we're not. Well, follow me and let people. No, we're not going to do that. You can take that somewhere else. And easy with the vulgarity, dude. I give anybody free reign to just Duterte, anybody who's getting out of line. I appreciate the insight and your feedback, White Raven, but watch the tone, man. You know, you're in somebody else's bar right now. And it's a gravy bar, and it's all about, you know, being positive and stuff. So take it easy. I appreciate your feedback, though. So yeah, take the shrubs and the trees away. It looks like a mud flood. It's not so hard to think that it could just be overgrowth of ruins. That's the type of work that I'm going to be looking for, and there's or putting forth. And I think that evidence could be contributed to with what's going on at Niagara Falls. So I forget what I was going to show you guys. Was gravy. Yeah, you get truth drops like this. This is Donkey Kong. My wife and I were playing this the other day, and number one, I mean, just like sticks out. It's like, what's going on? What's up with Moloch right there? I mean, what? And then Bree says it's pretty sure it's an owl. Yeah, I thought, and maybe I'm wrong, but isn't owl esoteric symbolism for Moloch, whatever, Bohemian Grove, whatever. So, but yeah, truth drops. You got black. Where's Paul Cook? You got the Blocky, the Lego liths. Oh yeah, you know what? Meanwhile, I got Paul here. Peep game on your IBM. Rock layers. There you go. Everybody in high school in their textbooks had these diagrams. Paul showed this also. It's like, what's the limestone layer? I mean, this is showing cycles of civilization, in my opinion, guys. And it's like right there in front of us. They're like, oh yeah, it just forms that. Also, I want to address when I say that it blocks out naturally because of vibrations, you know, I think that it blocks out like not uniform. Obviously, it's more uniform when we quarry it, Paul. But I think that when vibrations go over it again, and I want to send out a note to people on Instagram. There was somebody sent me a DM that said Niagara Falls was the only place in the world that hits all the decibel range. And I think when there's vibration, it could just, you know, not uniform block on block on block like masonry, but I think it still blocks out like in different shapes of blocks. I have to explain that a little bit more, but because of the crystalline structure, if it's all equally pressurized when it's made, like I think the Terra is, like a marble quarry, it all, of course, you quarry it in blocks too, but if it's getting vibrated in situ, it might also make right angles, at least, to make it look like something like this. I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly, but so when you see blocks like this, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's ancient quarry. It could just be looking like that naturally, and then Moloch. And you can see proof of that when you watch these guys break up these blocks on machines. I have that also, and I DM Paul about that, and I'm like, yo, look at when you apply pressure to these blocks that they break down, they do kind of shear like right in straight lines. So I think that would also happen in situ a little bit. Try to give you a video to give it a better idea. But if I can't find it, oh well. Yeah, so Phoenicians in America. This is from the book that I have. If anything that Barry Fell was doing, I did a video on this one. It was actually that Grand Canyon one that I cited earlier. Let's see here so you guys can see it. the exploration of the Colorado River and its canyons. Now, this is a monument that was, or it's called Island Monument in Glen Canyon, Grand Canyon. Now, to me, that looks like some type of effigy, possibly like that Moloch. And again, so I'm layering research here. Okay, I've spoken with Mason, the author of this book. He knew Barry fell. The synchronicity there is unbelievable. Again, my wife found this book at work. Long story short, you guys know it if you follow me. Wound up getting in touch with Mason Winfield, met him, a gentleman. He's on my IG. He knows Barry. He did know Barry fell, and he said wasn't able to put his work together and put it in a cohesive presentation, if you will, but there was something to it. So you get a book that's completely not related that I had from my parents and my grandfather's library that you can see behind me. It's all mine now. God bless and thankful. And I'm just, I remember I'm like, well, what's this monument? What's going on here? It's got the moon in it, you know, and it's the Island Monument in Glen Canyon. So I'm like, Barry Fell research possible Phoenicians here, burial mounds in Mystery Hill, artifacts from Mystery Hill, Phoenician artifacts, Basques, burial mounds that are possible tombs, burial mounds that Abraham Lincoln cited in his address at Niagara Falls, of all things. So it makes you think about what was that tomb underneath it. And I love how, like Simon Dan, like just completely scoffs all this research off in his real prissy attitude. And, he does some work himself and stuff like that. And that's cool. And he's been taking a look into Tartaria lately in Mudflood. That's real cool. But it's like, dude, just take a chill pill, because we're actually putting some really good information out here, and it's from books, dude. It's like, are you ignoring Barry Fell purposely? I'm not trying to exalt this guy, but he was an academic. He did get some props, and you got stuff like this. This is the base of it right now. That Glen Canyon Monument. It warrants further looking into, at least. So buried stuff. If Phoenicians were here, if Basques were here, I think that the Sea Peoples were here. I think that the Sea Peoples, this is another anomaly on top of many other here, but let's go back up, up, up. So do you see that's some serious gravy? That's the base of that thing. Looks like I mean, you see that picture or that image of the owl in Donkey Kong? Bohemian Grove, allegedly. Okay. That's what they were mining, also hiding and disintegrating, turning it into the dust. I don't know if I can. Is everything going on here? Is everything good? Everybody? Bree says, I legit think he misread the phrase boot, scoot, boogie. Okay, you guys are chilling? Cool. How's everything else going? Okay, so we're layering research here, sideways research. I'm seeing one thing here, remembering it from a book there, and being like, look at that monument, burial mounds. Abraham Lincoln addressed the nation at Niagara Falls and cited the tombs of giants. But it's all metaphorical, Simon Dan. Yeah, I get it. Appreciate you shining light over into our sector, though. You know what I mean? Any press is good press. So professionally, good looks. All right, back to the research here. Yeah, what do you guys, and you got the blockage here too. Look at the blocky block, chunky Lego liths. You see, okay, so is that a foundation or is it just looking like it blocked, like I said earlier? Because it chunks out in blocks naturally in situ. I don't know. But that does certainly look like it's an effigy to some type of deity, Canaanite deity, maybe. Appreciate that. There goes Robbie Rat. Okay, everybody give a shout out to Robbie. He's the Lockport dude. Brees, you mentioned it earlier. Let's where you at, bro? We were at Lockport together a while back. I did share it. So yeah, come to my IG because again, I do backup research here where what I do on YouTube, I also mirror here. And you'll get little chunks of information like this. That's pretty cool. Excuse me, sorry about that. These are the stones of Carnac in northern France, Brittany. And they're a megalithic formation. And according to local legend, when the Romans wanted to invade the village or a nearby village, Merlin, the wizard Merlin, turned them all into stone. Allegedly, could it be? Hey, Paul, you ever been there? And Robbie, so yeah, that's what I'm looking for. We got to go back to Lockport, and he's got a lot of local gravy as far as native. There goes Mason right there. So, guys, give a shout out to this gentleman. I met him at the Roycroft. That's his latest book. Very good dude, very cool, very knowledgeable. And that's Mason Winfield. He is the author of Shadows of the Western Door. He does haunted tours here in Buffalo. So check him out, Mason Winfield. I believe he's based out of East Aurora. He's got a residency at the Roycroft. That's a very esoteric. It's got a lot of sacred architecture in it as well. It says it in this book. So give a shout out to Mason Winfield. You can only do that. He actually was looking for some insight as to getting a YouTube channel out, and I was am in the process of lending him a hand with that because he's going to help me out with research. Anything I have, I could bounce it off of him. But I think he'd be more suited to do something like Howdy McCoskey does. Howdy's also an author, and I know that boomer generation ain't so savvy on the computer, but yeah, that's Mason. And just layering research here, guys. There goes Tommy. I don't know. Our Lockport video, Rad Bear. Just recommend that. So, yeah, Robbie Radbear is the one that's out in Rochester. Robbie, what's the name of your town, if you don't mind, or the village? I know that you're like just right outside of Rochester or some shit. It's right off of the old Erie Canal. Okay, so again, guys, this whole western door is what is west of the Genesee River. And the Erie Canal goes up and through here. What's really cool is that portage area. I've always loved the portage that I read about in my last video. When I'm driving up to go to the falls or to go fishing or to go to the power plant to go fishing, you got to come down off the escarpment. Check out the change in elevation here. In this area, this road right here is super cool. When I drive down this road, I could just feel the old energy. I've always liked this road because you're coming down off you're going down off the escarpment, and the escarpment is what created the falls here. In the beginning of my reading last time in my video, right here is where that giant falls was formed initially, allegedly when this place was formed 10,000 years ago in the ice age. But anyway, I've driven up here many times in this. You're coming down on this hill, and it's just you could feel the energy. Now let's also look up escarpment. That's what we're talking about. So there goes Niagara River. This is an angle from we would be north looking south. Okay. 2D. So you have Lake Ontario to the north, and then obviously Lake Erie south. So this is just to detail you what the actual topography is that's what makes the falls. When it started pulling back, allegedly, 10,000 years ago, when it hit the escarpment, that's where it created the falls and cut through. Allegedly, or could it be a mining operation gone bad, or gone bad, like Toronto Jew Bear thinks? So Lockport, yep, I got to do that. Brad Bear, good to see you, brother. A lot of local gravy he's got. A lot. Another asset to the team. All right, so yeah, is the new world the true old world, guys? Here you go. Check this out. Like how they're capped. This is Assassin's Creed. And then one of the bears sent me this. It does look like buttons. I'm not sure how that equates, but like, why would you like if this thing was going to be blasting off a cap, or why are there blasting off rounds? Excuse me. Why do they go all the way through? I think that they would only go all the way through if they were funneling water. Okay, so ruins, buried. Like I think that what people are seeing as a mud flood, certainly understandable, but I think it's overgrowth. Let's continue. There's another gravy nugget of truth in that UB guy, his presentation. But yeah, there goes the rock cycle, sedimentation, yada yada. That's what happens if it's plate tectonics. Erosion and sedimentation still happens as well, even under firmament. I guess it's what we're talking about that goes on below here that we differ on. Because what I'm saying and what I believe is that it's the firmament, and what's down here is Sheol, the underworld. That could be where the extraterrestrials are, extra land. The extra land could be below, maybe not just outside of the ice ring, allegedly. Excuse me. It's possible that the extraterrestrials, as it were, maybe the extra terra is below us, and the outer ring thing is a misnomer. Red herring. Who knows? Okay. Yeah. Every textbook has blocks, limestone. It's cycles of civilization, up and down, I think. And cataclysms, boy, I have a hard time with that stuff these days. Catastrophism, smashtrophism. I think that it's just fallen man doing it to one another. And creation and the mimic of it means that it always kind of looks like it's the creation event or the flood event, but it's, for example, when you hydraulic mine the Grand Canyon and you use those monitors like I showed you in that IG post from Casey, even 5 years down the road, it would just look like regular erosion. So is it creation or is it the mimic of it, and vice versa, and all that? And the mud flood was probably overgrowth, and we found it and unburied it with those same mining tools by hushing. And then you get vaults, and that's why everything is ancient, and that's why you have articles that I just read about ancient, or a tunnel system in vaults under Buffalo. And I aim to find them. Okay, escarpment, that's what you guys seen. I don't know what else I have to show. Well, I got to finish those other clips because there is gravy. Let's stay on task here. I think I'm doing pretty good. How's everybody doing over here in the chat? DN, good to see you. Another legend. Just ladling gravy, man. Just trying to show that I think America, the quote unquote new world, is the true old world. And I think that the Phoenicians were here. I think that the sea peoples came from here. That's what I wanted to show you. That's going to drive people crazy. Yo, come at, here, this is for Sideman Dan right here. And it's all professional, above board. I'm not being rude in any way, shape, or form. But it's like this. I'm providing proof. I'm doing my research. I'm doing my due diligence. And it's like, You know, Simon Dan's been poking his head in the Tartarian field lately, and it's like, dude, don't make me sick this dude on you, yo. And again, I'm just joking here, but bro, I forget his name. Oh, what's his name? Level Earth Observer. That dude goes hard back at Simon Dan, and I love it. Absolutely ridiculous. If anybody knows his name, but yeah, so this dude's an ace in the hole for whatever Simon Dan says. Simon Dan addresses Level Earth Observer. They go back and forth, and this dude just completely, in my opinion, eviscerates him. Dan does have good points, though. You know, he does, but he seems gatekeeper-ish. Could it be? Allegedly. So yeah, come at me, bro. Everything's above board here. Everything's transparent. You could see my desktop. We're bushwhacking my desktop right now. So, anywho, everything was buried. What did I want? Sea peoples. If the Phoenicians were here again, I cite Barry Fell. Can't say his name enough. I cite Stephen M. Collins. Let's do a little hip fire there. Michelle Gibson has done work on this too. Actually, I was looking back at her old videos. I didn't realize that, but this is Stephen M. Collins' book, "The Lost 10 Tribes of Israel Found." Hopefully, I can hook up my man John Horan, the guy that I cited in my last video, who let me borrow the Niagara Falls book. Now, he's a different gentleman than Mason. John owns a used book dealership here in Buffalo, and again, he let me borrow this. Hopefully, he could, because of his business, used book dealer, OG. I'm trying to get my hands on this book. So if this stuff is all real, if there's any merit to it, there's got to be evidence of it. And I think that, yeah, the new world is a true old world. They bury stuff, leave it for 1,000 years, and come back to it. They knew that it was here. Columbus didn't come to, think he was going to India, whatever. I think that that's all BS, in my opinion. So let's go back to mine. I know I'm rambling here. What's going on? No, we haven't done much excavating. Yep. Yeah, you know what, DN? You're about to get DN gets a moderator tool belt. You're modded, DN. You're a legend. I appreciate all of your insight, man. I think you're on board. You know what's going on with the caisson in the middle of the river, Niagara River. It's that another example of there was probably the shoreline might have been different. I think that Niagara River was actually lower, which would allow for it to freeze over. So there used to be an ice bridge, what I showcased in my last video. See how it freezes over? It used to freeze over entirely. People used to walk over it, and that's insane to me. But I'm going to present that in my next couple of videos, so stick with me. And again, the work of Barry Fell, like I just showed you, Stephen M. Collins. If there's any merit to their work, I aim to continue it. And if Phoenicians were here, if Basques were here, others, not just all Phoenicians, not just all Basques, there may have been a Caucasian race here, also natives. Thank you, Bible Reading Bear. I appreciate that. I always appreciate the feedback. It doesn't always have to be positive either. Like if the audio is not coming through, or if my lisp comes out again. I had speech class back in the day. It's kind of rather embarrassing, but sometimes when I get tired or I'm rambling, I'll slur the S's. And I had to go to speech class for that when I was in elementary school, and I got picked on for it. So, but you guys can pick on me and let me know if I'm rambling or. Yeah, there you go. Okay, Barry Fell, Sea Peoples, Stephen M. Collins, The Lost 10 Tribes of Israel Found. You got this amazing picture, panoramic of Niagara Falls next to Israel. Their layouts are very similar. You got Grand Island being New Ararat, a refuge place for Jews. and Moloch statues all the way out to Grand Island or to the Grand Canyon. And if that's the case, I think that possibly when you say the Sea Peoples, where are these guys? Watch this video. It's from the documentary YouTube channel History Time. It's 2 hours, but again, so I work from home, guys, and you may wonder how I have the ability to watch all this stuff, play my games, watch movies. I can watch a movie. I can't play my PlayStation when I'm working, but I can watch a movie while I work and do my job, do a good job at it. I work at a commercial collection agency. Let's be transparent. If anybody owns a business and you guys have other businesses that are your vendors that owe you money, well, now, not only am I a berserker researcher, I am a collector. So you don't want me to show up at your door, or it's this for you. I'm joking, but I collect commercial debt, and this is my company, Buffalo, New York. Here goes Rich. What up, Rich? That dude's a legend. This is my company. I collect commercial debt, and this business has been in Buffalo over 80 years. So we're OG. Shout out to ABC Omega. Any of my listeners own a business and other businesses owe you money, we can help your receivables. So there you go. I don't know how I started talking about that from that. Anyway, I would watch this. Oh yeah, I have time. I work from home, and I hope I don't get in trouble for that if anyone from work is watching. But I do my job. I do a good job, and I have the ability to research a little bit, watch movies to an extent. I have it lower down, but I can hammer out negotiation settlement with lawyers. It's like the back of my hand. All it is a formula when you're negotiating. Doesn't matter if it's a $50,000 debt or $5. It's like, what are the data points? And then we work within that. So I got time to watch this stuff, guys. I got time to play. And I'm a full-time dad and family man too. So what I said in the beginning, I mean what I say, and I say what I mean when I say that the love is reciprocated. The energy, then the positivity that I get from you guys, and the benevolent vibration of it gives me the energy to give back. Okay, so if you're wondering how I have all the time in the world, well, 8 hours a day, pretty much while I work, I research too. Watch this video, and who were the Sea Peoples? Let's great. Oh, you know what? I actually think I showed it in that. Watch. I did. So boom, come to my IG and you get stuff like this. Boom. Great Lakes Inland Sea. Where's the other one about Michelle Gibson? There you go. So you got that one. You got stuff like this. Is that a mastodon or a Phoenician war elephant? This thing is under Lake Michigan. Actually, I'll show you a cool video about Lake Michigan too. What do you guys think about what that creature is? And then, okay, this. So this is from a Michelle Gibson video back, and you can actually see it. Oh, no, that's not John Levi. What's going on here? Anyway, no. Bear with me. Bear with me. I think a lot of these ports, like Jamestown, might be ancient Kothan ring ports. So they would be in line with what Barry Fell's work is putting out there. Okay. And if it's the Sea Peoples, maybe they were from the seas here in America. And mainstream does not know where they came from. They could have been from Sardinia, could have been Vikings. But I say they're from the New World, in my opinion. Anyway, I'm kind of running out of steam here. Let's go back to gravy, and I really want you guys to pay attention here. Because not only is Western New York unique as far as the infrastructure, the radial street pattern grid foundationally, and what I just told you, and we showed this clip about the gentleman from UB.
At the end of the Revolutionary War, Western New York was covered with dense forests and Indian villages.
Yeah, we already went over that. Now listen, here goes some more data for you. This is going to be very important for me to lay foundationally the context, historical context going forward, on top of what I did for Niagara Falls. Again, thank you for sticking with me, guys. I know I'm kind of long-winded sometimes when I get excited and I ramble and rant, but it's really appreciated. And I always say this, and I do repeat myself a lot too. I know that when I do listen to myself, and I have to, I noticed that I pick that up. So I'm not as polished as maybe you would like me to be. I still appreciate the support though. So you're always going to learn something. There's always going to be gravy ladled when you come and check me out. So with that, thank you, and please hit the like button. Let's listen to some more gravy.
Okay, moving ahead in time, December 30th, 1813, I think a day that will live in Buffalo history. On December 10th of that same year, General George McClure, who was the commander of American forces in the Niagara area, senselessly burned the Canadian town of Newark, which was now Niagara on the Lake. Then he retreated from the west side of the river. The settlers on the American side protested this burning of a defenseless town, an act of cruelty, but feared retaliation. But sure enough, the British forces, augmented by Native Americans, crossed the river and surprised Fort Niagara and proceeded to destroy Lewiston. 2 days later, they continued marching up the river, destroying the villages of Manchester, which is now Niagara Falls, stopping at Tonawanda Creek, where the bridges were destroyed by retreating American forces. So the villages of Black Rock and Buffalo were still on edge, but they were saved for now. They garnered militia forces from Genesee and Chautauqua counties, which came in to defend Buffalo, and confidence returned. However, this quickly dissipated when on December 30th, it was realized they were no match for the British and Indian forces that quickly took and burned the villages of Black Rock and then Buffalo. Panic-stricken, most residents fled the village, and all that was left were a few resistors, which were eventually killed or taken prisoner, all due to the senseless act of General George McClure. So Buffalo had to rebuild, and Joseph Ellicott was a big part of that rebuilding. He was a major player by this time. He contributed personal funds as well as many company funds, and he served on a commission with the state legislature, which was created to help war victims. This is also a reason you will not find any building in Buffalo with a cornerstone prior to 1813. Everything was destroyed and rebuilt around that time. Another achievement of Joseph Ellicott to Buffalo transportation was his realization as early as 1808 that other modes of transportation were needed to spur development of Buffalo. He urged the creation of an all-water route from Albany to Buffalo, always keeping in mind what benefited the company. He became knowledgeable about alternate route courses and served as canal consultant for the state legislature. To contribute to the cause, he persuaded the company to deed the state approximately 100,000 acres of its land in the southern part of the purchase, where Allegheny State Park is located. Once construction of the waterway had begun, his role in extending the canal west of the Genesee was historic, because when the canal reached Rochester, strong efforts were made by influential forces to stop westward continuous. It was Joseph Ellicott, probably more so than any other single person, who used his formidable political power developed through the years to push the canal from Rochester to Buffalo. So the canal was completed in 1824, which opened the floodgates of immigration
eight
westward,
years.
boosting Buffalo's population and commerce. It was called the handsomest spot.
They built that thing in 8 years and dug that thing out in 8 years. You know what? Let's do some funny stuff here. Oh man, where is it? I'm losing my momentum here with that. But yeah, so that's what they say. They purport that the Erie Canal was literally dredged in
Called the handsomest spot in the purpose
like 8
of the
years.
purchase. And you know the rest of the story. That spurred economic development, and spurs were made by influential forces to stop westward continuous. It was Joseph Ellicott, probably more so than any other single person, who used his formidable political power developed through the years to push the canal from Rochester to Buffalo. So the canal was completed in 1824, which opened the floodgates of immigration westward, boosting Buffalo's population and commerce. It was called the handsomest spot in of the purchase, and you know the rest of the story.
Oh, is that right? Well, here's what I say about that.
Let me tell you something. You're suspect. Yeah, you. I don't know what your reputation is in this town, but after the shit you tried to pull today, you can bet I'll be looking into you.
Hilarious. Okay.
And spurred the future of Buffalo to be a very prosperous city from that point forward. And here's a newer map of Buffalo around 1849. Again, more streets were added. The city started to develop. You can still see the radial design of the spokes of the wheel emanating from Niagara Square. The Buffalo was kind of coming into its own at this point, becoming more prosperous and more populated.
Oh yeah, okay, there, guy. I'm only, I'm joking. I'm kind of being a little humorous here when I say that. I give the guy respect, but it's like, it's really wishy-washy. And I like to say what's up to Brian, welcome, and Dragon Sage, another supporter of the channel, been around for a while. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for all the positive comments and feedback and stuff. I really, really do appreciate that. So one more clip, guys, and then we'll do, or no, actually, this is, I'm not sure if you guys remember a post from back in the day on like IG or something where someone had found, maybe I'll ask you guys directly, which is a direct question to the chat. Let me put something cool up on the screen here. And about Chicago, and they were doing some construction in the streets of Chicago, and they pulled up the asphalt, and actually underneath the asphalt there was wooden planks. Like I could actually maybe search that. See if we could find that. Let's go to Wood Street, Chicago. Does anybody remember that? Hip fire, hip fire. Wood. Maybe it's on IG. I don't know. Sorry if I'm being a little bit cumbersome here. Maybe not. Okay, so bushwhacking, do as many. Okay, appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, Dragon Sage, thank you. Okay, so anyway, there was a post on IG, and it was like real anomalous, like old world type of deal. Like, why were there wooden planks underneath the street? What was it used for? And lo and behold, I didn't even realize that I downloaded these screen recorded a while ago. Again, pro tip: do not disturb, screen record. Great tools. So anyway, here's the answer to that. Here's the answer to your wood planks underneath the streets of Chicago. And I've been sitting on this for a minute. Sometimes I just forget to present it.
Any more questions there, Katie?
Yeah, we have a question about road construction. So
Okay.
This person says, several years ago in Chicago, I saw a street being worked on and the base was wood. Pieces were approximately 4 by 4 by 12 and placed on end. It looks like a giant checkerboard. What's this common?
Yes, it was common back, as I mentioned, the plank road era. It was in areas that did have an abundance of trees or forests that they used planks. Canada used it quite often. But planks and woods were used back then at a certain era when they did not have any other materials. Maybe the macadam pavement wasn't available, concrete wasn't available, or bricks weren't available at the time. So people tried to use the best material at the time and what was the most economical method.
Okay, thank you.
Let's listen to that again. And I appreciate guys sniping the people in the chat that are spamming. I give you guys free reign to Duterte, Pink Mist, like Brittany Jacobs. I'm not sure what she's doing. Time out. No pass go. Don't solicit in here, please. You'll get banned right away. And if I'm mistaken, you guys, or if I'm mistaken something for a bit, sorry, casualty of war. Friendly fire, it happens. But please don't be soliciting here. It will get Duterte. And if you know that what we're talking about, then you know what we're talking about. Fall in line and follow suit. I appreciate everybody being here, but let's be professional. Okay, so let's listen to this again. Wooden streets in Chicago. If you've seen the post for it, this is the answer.
Any more questions there, Katie?
Yeah, we have a question about road construction. So
Okay.
This person says, several years ago in Chicago, I saw a street being worked on and the base was wood. Pieces were approximately 4 by 4 by 12 and placed on end. It looked like a giant checkerboard. Was this common?
Yes, it was common back, as I mentioned, the plank road era. It was in areas that did have an abundance of trees or forests that they used. They used planks. Canada used it quite often. But planks and woods were used back then at a certain era, when they did not have any other materials. Maybe the macadam pavement wasn't available, concrete wasn't available, or bricks weren't available at the time. So people tried to use the best material at the time and what was the most economical method.
Okay, thank you.
There you go. And canals all over the place. Let me just put this in your brain too. And me, Brian, I didn't realize that I went live, and so was Martin. That wasn't purposely done, Martin. So my bad. Please excuse. Martin's hilarious. Me, Brian. Oh yeah, Hippie Shake. What's up? Good to see you. You're another long time fan here, friend of the channel. So good to see you. So yeah, Brian. Martin Liedke. Me, Brian. Side thumbs. Thrice, double thrice indeed. Hilarious. Okay. Ogalusa log. Check this out, y'all. Image search that one. My spelling isn't on right now, but okay. They transported wood back in the day, y'all. Like that. Massive, huge floating log rafts. And I would imagine that you could probably move them on a canal also. Maybe not as big though, because they probably have a really deep draft, to be honest. But they did float them down the Mississippi. They are moving wood back and forth. So when he said, look at this, that they were using and sourcing the material that they had available, they had some wood available, because they're probably clearing out things like, overgrowth. Like I showed you, they probably had a whole bunch of it from deforesting that stuff, in my opinion. Have a little smooth music, but actually I want to play another clip, so we'll see. All right, so Phoenicians, cannons were probably also hydraulic water monitors. Overgrowth is probably what we're seeing and confusing with mud flood. I think that we unburied this stuff, guys. Things don't add up. I'm going to try to put it together for you. And again, regarding history, I got another one for you. His story.
You serious?
Yeah, about everything. I mean, the events did happen in the general sense, but it's like the motives behind them and who owns the pen and the land tract afterwards. All right, so let's close up with this. I've presented this before, guys. Please come to my YouTube channel. I really, really appreciate your support. Like, share, and subscribe. And oh man, because I'm live right now, it doesn't show my commercial or my preview that Brees made me. Actually, I do have it. Video. Where's the video? Bear with me while I try to find my clip of the graviest intro in the realm. Compliments of Brees Bear. Here we go. There's a copyright on this one, so feedback if it gets hit, even though it's already gone through the processor at my YouTube. All it does is give me a copyright strike. It might hit a red flag. Maybe I shouldn't even play it. It's so dope though. Anybody needs digital designs, help or work, holler at Brees Bear. He's in the chat somewhere. He put this together. So if I drop out, please report. Actually, I got it on my phone right here. Here we go. This is why Buffalo is so dope.
You don't get sunsets over the water.
We have Lake Erie to our west, Niagara Falls to the north, Buffalo River meandering to the south.
The grid overlaid by a radial system of streets.
You have what Ada Louise Huxtable called the greatest urban vista in America.
Pan Am, shout out to Woody. Yeah, that's amazing, Brees. I mean, you absolutely just crushed that, dude. And I only show it really when I do my research on like when I'm in the city. So you haven't seen it in a while, but when I do a bushwhacking boots on the ground, when I'm in the city limits, it's kind of the theme behind when I showcase that one. And then here goes Berserker Bear original, first meme ever, made right here in the studio, right here in the lab. How fitting is that, right? You guys like that one? I made that one myself. Holler at your boy. I make memes. Yeah, Dragon Sage. Very well suited and deserved compliment right there. And that's underlined, italicized, and bold. Backlit by highlighter from me. Cool. And a great job, Mr. Brees. That's really cool. I love that. Love that video. So, okay, with that, I have another video that I did about not dust. Maybe it is the dust video. Keep your ears open for whenever you hear dust. Now, there's a game that I purchased recently for you gamers out there. I am a gamer. Let's actually see if I can. Let's do this. All right. This game is amazing. I just played the first board with my wife, and let's not get any ideas here. This is not any kind of indication as to our relationship because we have a very healthy and a wonderful marriage. I love my wife. She's right upstairs right now. She could probably hear me. Ain't that right, babe? Okay, it takes two. I actually showed Brees, told Brees about this one. It takes two trailer. Now, keep your ears open for dust. Let me preface right quick. Watch my video about dust. My name is Dustin, and there's a lot of esoteric nature. There is an esoteric nature of dust. It's revered in the occult, in my opinion, and I think that what we would call in my faith as the Holy Spirit of God Most High, that whom or that which I know through Jesus Christ. He's how I know my faith. I get my knowledge of the Terra from Odin, I believe. If there's that's, let's not get into me saying that. I apologize if that's blasphemous to the born again Christians, but I digress. Anyway, dust is a notion that I find to be very occult and revered in the occult. I would watch my video on it and just randomly, again, keep your ears open for it because you might notice it now more about hearing dust, and watch that video. And I just downloaded that game. Where is it now? Okay, here we go. It Takes Two trailer. Watch my dust episode, and let's see. Just started playing the game. In the first board, you have to go into a vacuum and beat the vacuum. And the underlying tone of the whole board effectively is you're combating dust because that's what the vacuum sucks up. Let's see if we play it without a commercial. Yeah, here we go. I'm playing this game right now currently with my wife. Got to have two players, obviously. So here goes a trailer for Dust. Or for It Takes Two. And Dust is a underlying theme in the first board.
Of a match. King, one of wizards and warriors. It's an epic day set upon the high seas, an odyssey through time and space. Pew, 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 pew.
It's also a bit of a winter wonderland bobsled sort of thing, you know? Oh, wait a minute. Did I mention the big explosion? Hold it right there. Look at these dolls. Almost forgot they used to be humans. Ay, ay, ay. Do you want to know what this story is really about? Huh? This is the story of Cool.
I wonder if I'll get copyright knocked for this. I doubt it. But this is one of the coolest games I've played. And I've only played the first board. So just bear with me. I'm sorry. I'm definitely placating to myself. I'm a gamer and my gamer fans here. This is dope. And the truth drop in the first board, it's like we got our work cut out for us, babe.
And May.
Why'd you look like a blob of clay?
Wanna change back? Then you need to fix your relationship.
One can have a dream, baby.
So, this is a story of passion.
I think I'm gonna throw up.
Oh, you're a doll, Cody. You've nothing to throw up.
Told you.
It takes two, baby.
This is a story of attraction. You feel it?
I feel stuck.
You see the clock in the background? Truth drops.
It was a spell, I am telling you.
If it is a spell, how do we break it?
Okay, I got this. Give me some space. I need to think.
This is a story of collaboration.
How comes you get all the cool gadgets?
Because I'm cooler than you, Cody.
Okay, so you get the point. It's pretty cool. I would recommend it, and I only played one board. So anyway, Dust, I think it is indicative, and they revere it. So like I would say our Christian faith is the Holy Spirit. For the others, or whatever, Prometheans, do I call them, or ones who are not about benevolent faith, but recognize that there is a Most High. So you can deduce from that what I think that I know that you could. They revere the dust because it indicates the cyclical nature of our firmament, I believe, and that would be akin to our spirit and our Holy Spirit. I think that they revere the dust because it's their spirit. And I've cited a really awkward video from Will Ferrell whom I thought was hilarious. He is a really funny actor. Don't know him as a person, but I can deduce. I'm not even going to show this video. It's kind of disgusting. So I would say, when these actors, these thespians act, I think they're also acting in real life as thespians. I think Will Ferrell is a character. I think their names mean certain things. Will, the one whose will is Ferrell, has a Ferrell will. Will Ferrell, Chris Gethard, Jewel. So if you were to watch this, and there's a certain point in this video when the one whose will is Ferrell says, "You are of the dirt. We are dirt people." It's whether or not this is a fake or a show or whatever, or putting on for theatrical to get numbers, like he says, when they say that dirt people, that means that they're of the earth, worldly. Okay, it's spiritual here. This is make no mistake about it. This is spiritual warfare, and even though it's presented to you in theatrical, their whole game is theater. Everything is theater. Everything. That's why they call it theater of war. Anyway, so in that in this horribly disgusting thing that is on available, like it's so cool to watch. I did watch it, but it's dark. Anyway, he refers to that dude Chris Gethard, whoever that guy is, as a dirt person after he goes through or they're going through the ritual. And it's definitely an esoteric occult ritual. And it's of the same nature of the whole dust meaning, because everything comes down to dust, everything breaks down to dust, and then it gets recycled back again. Now we're going to tail out. We're going to continue on this notion and tail out and end this because I think I'm going pretty long here, and I am rambling. Come to my IG. I think that we unburied everything. It wasn't a mud flood. It was a unmud flood where we took out the overgrowth, in my opinion. And I still got more work to do on Niagara Falls, but the dust, the notion of the dust. I put a video out before about the Tesla machine, the earthquake machine. I'm going to show that again. I'm going to show a clip of David Bowie talking about what I believe to be the Tesla machine, the black noise machine. And then again, I'm going to show a side by side of the Mythbusters show when they actually tested a similar small scale Tesla machine, Quake machine, on a truss bridge. And Jamie got a little bit nervous. Okay. I've went over this before. I forget what video that I showed it in. But that's what we're going to do. So dust, the nature of dust, everything breaks down to it and then gets possibly compacted back into the Terra. Maybe is that how it is, or it's just indicative of everything being cyclical. So my YouTube channel, let's wrap this up. Thank you very much, guys, for being here. I had a great time in the chat. If I missed you or looked over some of your hey, how long, Bear? I can't wait to see you, bro. Yeah, I'll have the hot meal for you. That gravy might be of the marinara variety. It's still gravy. It's like Paulie from or no, Junior from The Sopranos. He would always call the pasta sauce the gravy. Oh, the gravy's good today. So yeah, How Long Bear is a truck driver. Give him a shout out because he's on the main veins delivering your products to your local food store. So my man, and he's going to be up in this sector, the Northeast, this coming weekend. So we're going to get together, and that's what the Bears are about. Okay, we like to follow Owen Benjamin. Matter of fact, you know what? Buildingbeartaria.com. Go check it out. You guys want to know what bears are about? Watch this right here. Okay, buildingbeartaria.com. The Great Bear Trail. Okay, How Long Bear is an OG. He's a trucker. My father grew up trucking. I don't have the maybe I do. So we got that in common. I do. Here you go. How Long Bear. This is for you, brother. Let's do this. That's my pops back in the day. in his rig, you know, over the top status alone. And there goes young Berserker right along with him. So that said, we got that in common. And how long bear? It's what the bears are about. Go check out buildingbeartarget.com from comedian Owen Benjamin. Comedian Owen Benjamin. Did you guys check that out? Did you catch that? So yeah, I will see you on Sunday. Now, come to my YouTube channel. Thank you very much, guys. Love you all. I appreciate your help. Appreciate your feedback. Appreciate your insights. Everything. If I don't get back to you right away, if you email me, a lot of people send me a lot of stuff. So if I don't reply, I'm sorry. Keep on emailing me, and I eventually will get back to you. So this is my YouTube channel. I got a lot more work to do, as I think that I laid out in this presentation. Maybe a generally cohesive manner. Can take you to my Odyssey. Make sure to sub to me there also for backup auxiliary purposes. Also takes you to my IG that I was using from, or I was taking some pictures from earlier. And with that, let us tail out on the esoteric dust and Tesla machine. So let's preface and start off with David Bowie, weirdo.
What is black noise?
Okay, also in my opinion, this is not any kind of knock against any kind of whatever you align yourself as or you identify as, but in his delivery, to me, it appears, I'm curious as to what you guys say about this too. The boots on the ground. Campfire Bear, good to see you, brother. That's what I'm talking about. Yo, Campfire Bear. So Hal Lawn Bear is coming over on Sunday. Going to have a hot dinner for him. He's coming up northeast sector, and that's how we do it. So shout out to Campfire Bear, my man. And okay, in the delivery, when David Bowie's talking, he just appears feminine to me. It's almost like if you just like squint your eyes, it's like it could be a chick talking. It's just something that I noticed. Whatever. Okay. This is the beginning of the closeout. Black Noise, Tesla Machine. If it's not plate tectonics, I think that they can kind of do this stuff locally. And then creation and the mimic of it. How could you ever discern the difference after time goes on? Another video I'm going to put out soon is there's a term called planned obsolescence in business, where they have, for example, this is Galaxy S10. Before they even put out Galaxy S1, they have all the series of 1, 2, all the generations ready to go. It's called planned obsolescence. They plan their market in the future, right? So when we're trying to deduce history here, incorporating that industry uses planned obsolescence in things for like this, how could we deduce a proper timeline? It's very hard. I plan to do that notion too, if you guys can stick with me on that. But how can we deduce a proper timeline as far as inventions that we're told by history? You know, great inventions is what we signpost our history as, but we know that they use planned obsolescence. So it's like, how are we even to be able to deduce that? Anyway, there goes another one of my tangents. Thanks for sticking with me for my long-winded explanations of everything and repeating myself. But Black Noise, beginning of the closeout here. And thanks again, everybody. Bowie appears feminine to me.
What is black noise?
Black noise.
Yeah.
Black noise is something that Barrow's got very interested in. It's
intrigued.
Well, no, it's the one facet of black noise is that everything, like a glass, if an opera singer hits a particular note, the vibrations are that of the metabolism of the glass, and it cracks it. Yeah. So a black noise is the register within which you can crack a city or people, or it's a new controlled bomb. It's a noise bomb, in fact, which can destroy.
Is it a real thing? I mean, is it something that's actually somebody's experimenting with?
It was invented in France.
Could a tyrant use it to...
Well, until last year, you could buy the patent for it in the French patent office for about equivalent to $3-4.
it's concentrated.
It depends
sound
how
waves.
much money you put into it. I mean, a small one could probably kill about half the people here, but a big one could destroy a city, or even more. I mean,
it's a weird idea.
It's not my idea.
Well, let's not give the instructions on how to do it.
Okay, so David Bowie was knowing about it way back in the day. All right, now we're gonna watch a clip of this is gonna be a clip of MythBusters. I just remembered this from back in I shared this a while ago. Okay, now just picture there's more weight on this thing. Okay, this is a little bit of a longer clip, but I think it's warranted, and it helps to underline at least my belief that it's firmament. Okay, and plate tectonics is literally just, I don't want to say, well, retarded with triple E, retarded. So yeah, where's Simon Dan? Got it, bro. Professionally speaking. Okay, MythBusters, Tesla quake machine on a bridge. Let's go.
This is it. It's quite the structure. It is. It is an awesome structure. But when Adam said, we promise that if this device works, we will use our powers only for good, he was lying. It's time to use Tesla.
Hey, was it too loud when I play that? Like too jarring? Right quick, if you don't mind. Right back at you, Nate, my man. Much love, brother. Be safe on those roads. No, I mean, Zaralath, is it too loud? It might appear like it's clipping a little bit because okay, cool. There's another pro tip. So with the screen record and the do not disturb and screen record on your phone, maybe I should stop this and not play it on that. You know how YouTube gives you the opportunity to, one way to get around the censorship or the algorithms when using a copyrighted material is to use like the speed on your YouTube, toggle the different speed. Sometimes when I record something that's got gravy, I'll speed it up a little bit and put it on 1.25 times, so it's a little bit faster, and then record it and download it onto my computer. So when I play it back, it's a little bit faster speed. That might be the reason why it's clipping a little bit. Okay, not too loud. All right, thank you guys. And sometimes, again, there goes my long-winded explanation for stuff. Hypercritical of myself, so I appreciate the feedback.
This device to bring the bridge down. This is intense. So all they need to do is find a good spot to attach their earthquake machine, turn it on, and tune it in. There she goes. There it is. The oscillating machine is oscillating. Increase the amplitude. And now to tune it to the resonant frequency of the bridge. If they can do that, this giant steel structure will be a pile of rubble in no time at all. Oh my God! Keen-eyed observers will note the guys are actually standing on the bridge they're trying to destroy. Confidence in Tesla's machine isn't exactly sky high.
Now, neither Jamie nor I gives a high percentage to anything occurring out here. Nonetheless, I mean, Mythbusters is nothing if not a compendium of ways in which Jamie and I have been wrong. Jamie, come here. Feel this. Come here. I feel a vibration that is oscillating here.
I'm going to freeze it and see whether it stops.
Okay. That's kind of cool.
And
totally stops here. That's freaky.
all of a sudden, this myth is giving Adam and Jamie a good vibe. And it's not the traffic, because that's on a completely separate bridge.
It totally feels like the whole structure is ringing to that hertz. Hold on, I'm going to go
Just want to maybe cut in a little bit and make sure that the algorithms don't pick up this as copyright, and so it's good to chop it up a little bit. I actually learned that from Big Bear. And RV Truth had mentioned that before too. Shout out to RV Truth. OG to the OGs right there. Little do you know that I'm OG too, though. Haven't been on the YouTube game, but been a tinfoil hat for longer than I could even care about, I guess, to be honest with you. You're in the foxhole for a while. Gets a little bit redundant.
Go down the way and see if I can feel it over here. I can totally feel it over here. Wait. I can totally, yep, there it goes.
But the best is yet to come. After some more tuning, they find a sweet spot.
Hold the phone. Oh my God. It feels like a big semi-trailer truck is rolling right by us right now.
And that's only 6 pounds of weight, moving 25 times per second.
It actually makes me a little concerned, believe it or not.
I've totally started to come out here and find this thing.
Okay, here's a little bit of an in-depth or characterization of these two guys. I know that they may have been gatekeepers, whatever, possibly. The science that they do is pretty good, though, because they do experiments and they replicate the results and stuff like that. They were on with Barry Obama, whatever. They did Archimedes' death ray, and they went about that all wrong. Instead of using one parabolic thing, they did individual, completely all wrong. So use your discernment here. Obviously, you can see this is a real true experiment, and they're doing some really good science here with it. And when Jamie gives, this is why I want to underline their characters. When Jamie stops for pause, I listen. You know what I mean? Not to take anything away from Adam. He's more flippant and kind of all over. They're both very good with what they do, but again, Jamie is more matter of fact, if you will. So when he says something like this,
And that's only 6 pounds of weight, moving 25 times per second.
It actually makes me a little concerned, believe it or not.
it's kind of funny and humorous to be like he's being very poignant and real there. So gatekeepers, yeah, met with Barry Obama, did a wrong experiment with the Archimedes, and maybe that was purposeful because actually they were tasked to do that by Barry himself, Barry Obama. Well, Adam, Jamie, I'd like you to do the Archimedes death ray. Very curious to see Michael and I want to know what's going on with that. So it'd be very cool if you did. Okay. Yeah, they met with Barry and he asked him to do the Archimedes one. Anyway, so Jamie, when he stops and he says something like that, I believe that's real character coming out. Take that for what you will.
I've totally started to come out here and find this thing vibrating at the correct frequency to be felt hundreds of feet away from the source. That is totally amazing. Did not expect that.
We were ramping the same weight and the same kind of amplitude of vibration through the whole range of frequencies. And, there's a little vibration, but then I hit that one spot, and all of a sudden it's like, hold on, this is different. Something different was going on with that exact frequency.
Okay, so that's where that Tesla frequency comes in. And yeah, when I'm putting this stuff up, Paul, and I used to watch these guys all the time too. I loved them. But yeah, now with the benefit of hindsight, obviously, we have to use our discernment. So that's why I prefaced with saying that about Barry and stuff. And how's my Barry voice? Yeah, they do. Here, ready? Let's go.
And
yo, he made it in his shop. At least the device that they use, Brees. Jamie made it like in a couple days' work or something like that. I forget exactly how long it took him, but they show it.
As a result of that specific frequency, that specific tone that we're getting, like, hold on, to frequencies. We're ramping the same weight and the same kind of amplitude of vibration through the whole range of frequencies. And, there's a little vibration, but then I hit that one spot, and all of a sudden it's like, hold on, this is different. Something different was going on with that exact frequency. And, as a result of that specific frequency, that specific tone that we're getting, this entire bridge is vibrating. Yeah, you can see it. That's over 100 feet away.
Crazy.
Dude, that's 6 pounds.
I know.
I'm a little spooked.
It's official. We have 2 spooked Mythbusters.
Both of them say it. Okay, so let's do this now. And I've showed this before. Okay, let's see. Let's put this up on there. What are earthquakes, guys? I mean, I know magma's real. I know lava's real. I see it coming out of Kilauea. I mean, I guess I can say the firmament would shake, but if it's static, it's static. Shout out to Static in the Attic, also great researcher. Don't agree with everything that the dude says, but I like his scrappy delivery. There's something to be said about standing in the face of criticism and holding your cojones and moving forward and sticking with your guns. So again, I don't agree with everything about Static, but his research is solid. He does a good job of doing research incorporating the mainstream. Okay, so shout out to him also. And look, I gotta throw this out there. There goes your boy while I'm working. Okay, Black Noise Machine. We start out with Bowie, real feminine like, just weird. There goes your boy also. Pulling walleyes out of Lake or Niagara River. Okay, so we're gonna do this, and we're gonna listen to Jamie again. And again, thanks for stopping by with me, guys. This is gonna be ending soon, and I got a lot more work to do on Niagara Falls. What are earthquakes, y'all? Now let me do this. I know Brees is gonna want to kill me because I never have any of this stuff ready on hand. He's like, "You gotta edit, dude." Open with.
This is it. It is an awesome structure. Find a sweet
6 pounds.
A little concerned, believe it or not.
I've totally started to come out here and find this thing vibrating at the correct frequency to be felt hundreds of feet away from the source. That is totally amazing. Did not expect that.
We were ramping the same weight and the same kind of amplitude of vibration through the whole range of frequencies. And, there's a little vibration, but then I hit that one spot, and all of a sudden it's like, hold on, this is different. Something different was going on with that exact frequency. And, as a result of that specific frequency, that specific tone that we're getting, this entire bridge is vibrating. Yeah, you can see it. That's over 100 feet away.
Dude, that's 6 pounds.
I know.
I'm a little spooked.
It's official. We have 2 spooked Mythbusters and some unexpected results on our hands.
whole range of frequencies. And, there's a little vibration, but then I hit that one spot, and all of a sudden it's like, hold on, this is different. Something different was going on with that exact frequency. And, as a result of that,
So yeah, I mean, obviously earthquakes, but I think that there's that tech, and I think it's a vibratory machine similar to like how you vibrate. I said this before, similar to how you vibrate bubbles out of concrete. And if you can picture one just being a massive scale, probably built somewhere in Russia, like just massive. I'm not saying I don't think earthquakes happen though. You know what I mean? Again, a concept that I like to say is creation and the mimic of it. Maybe there is in creation there is a nature of earthquakes that God Most High allows for. I don't know. I think it's more again man versus man. And you know what? I'm going to tail out with an Assassin's Creed clip here. It's fitting for my gamers. So yeah, the black noise machine. It's fallen man doing it to fallen man, in my opinion. And you look back and you say, is it catastrophism? Look at the lights in the sky, everything's gonna burn, it's all melted. What man does to other man after time goes by, I believe can be looked at. Might look like catastrophism. And the upheaval, archaeologists talk of ancient upheavals and stuff like that. Maybe that was from the flood, and we're just still seeing stuff like that when the strata is turned over. But the microcosms of the resets and stuff like that, I believe happens in pockets over time. And we keep moving stuff around, and these wizards move and move us around and stuff like that. And speaking of that, let's actually do Hobbit. Let's see if I have that. Did I download that, please? Lord of the Rings, a great clip from The Hobbit where I think when the mama bears wake up, and I say mama bears, that's double entendre, obviously the bears, but just mothers in general, when they sniff what's going on right now. And boy, I wish I could find that clip. It's when Galadriel takes care of Sauron. Maybe I didn't. Anyway, so I'm going to play the clip that I think details how truth is also showed in not just media in general, media meaning movies, media being music, media being also games. Again, I'll placate to my gamers here. So, again, thank you very much for stopping by. This is kind of impromptu, but I have ideas that I want to get out. So, hey, Sasha Lopez, good to see you. Also, another really good researcher and shares a lot of good stuff with me on IG. I really appreciate all that stuff. And the work that you do, boots on the ground, keep doing it. And oh yeah, that reminds me. Let's along with my Odyssey and along with my Instagram, if you want to do boots on the ground work and actually contribute, like I do, and like Sasha Lopez here that I advised shares a lot of stuff with me. That's what MeWe's for. Okay, it's a little bit more exclusive because you have to be invited. There's a lot of members, but not a lot of people. I'm trying to matriculate more people in that are down to do boots on the ground stuff. So what you have to do is you have to set up an account on MeWe. You got to get in touch with me. We have to invite you, okay? Because we do have almost 900 members. If anybody has questions, Mr. Brees is an administrator. Campbell at Autodidactic actually set this website up. He's really busy, so he's rarely there. Don't be surprised if he doesn't have time to get back to you, and that's completely understandable. I appreciate him giving me the reins because I run it, but he made it, so obviously he's the owner. And shout out to Cam. You're one of the OGs that I look up to originally got me into this work. So that said, listeners, you guys can come here and post work that I do or similar work that I do here. We accept. It's very professional. If you drop something here, put a post or a drop. We ask that you identify what it is. I like to avoid, and I do avoid. I run a really tight ship. Of those 800 members plus, I had to weed out some trolls. There's no direct solicitations of personal stuff here. People aren't going to contact you and say weird things or whatever. I did have a problem with that initially, and I apologize because I had to take care of that. But right now, I run a really tight ship. I share pretty much every stuff equally. I ask people to share, comment, and if you do put something up, it has to be described as what it is, what the aspect of it is. There's no news, no fear porn, no anything that's going on currently in the zeitgeist in Babylon. It's not allowed. I delete it immediately. If you don't identify your post, I delete it immediately. You can also put audio, also put pictures. I give you the ability to look at all the pictures that I put up from my videos. I do truth drops in here. Shout out to Woody, for example. This is from a game I'm playing, LA Noire. And we have, oh, here we go. Wood and Nichols, you know, with the Pan American Expositions and, you know, Static in the Attic. Truth in Games, guys, look at this. Is that how they pulled it off? Hey, Gary, good to see you, my friend. Oh, thanks for stopping by. It's been a long time. We should get up together. I haven't been on Telegram on your in your area in a minute, so really good to see you. I'm glad that you're doing okay. Okay, Miwi, you got to create a profile. Let's not get too long-winded here, Dust. And I have to invite you. You can contribute to the work, though. That's what I like to put out there. That's what I got in the game for to begin with. And I used to promote this a lot more, but now that it's cleaned up a lot, please come on over. Get in touch with me. I'll help you walk through it. You have to have a profile. You have to be invited. And audio, I share all the OGs, and I will share also stuff like this. Great quote: "Not all those who wander are lost." And I give you Balbon Style, Area 4 Basin, Balbon Styles. Sometimes I will drop a huge trove of all the pictures that I have, and you can look at all of them, zoom in and everything, even the videos. So, yeah, great chat with Woody. All right, so MeWe too. MeWe, Odyssey, IG, find me. And with that, watch your six. Keep it sleuthing. Stay wandering. Stay wondering. Love you all. Thanks for the support. Last clip is going to be from Assassin's Creed. I played it before, but it indicates the idea of everything being cyclical. This is a dance between what you'd say maybe the farmer and the cities of Cain and industry, the filth of industry. I know that we all use it. We're all culpable. As a matter of fact, I detail that very well, and so does Philip in our conversation from a while back. Okay, right here. Definitely watch this. This details scarcity. Shout out to Phil. How are you doing, brother? This is a book that I have, and I highly recommend you guys watching this video because it details scarcities in the industry. I'm not saying that I don't use it, and I'm not in the same boat as you guys when we have to go to the store and use their services. But before we say they, hold the mirror up, okay, and watch this video. Now, with that, this is a dance between the city and the farmer. And maybe if we were taught of the other way as we were growing up, which I detail on that chat with Philip, maybe more of us would be farmers and we wouldn't be in the situation that we're in right now. So be hesitant and aware when we say they, because we know that we're holding a mirror up. At least that's what I'm saying from my camp. Okay, again, I love you all. This is the dance. Not only is homie dancing with her on a terrace, he's talking about the terrace of generations and how we forget. And I don't think we're forgetting anymore. What's going on right now is a death blossom from this cabal, whatever it is. And look that up. It's a death blossom. It's going to be bumpy for a little bit, guys, but hold on, hold the line, because we've already won. Okay, that light at the end of the tunnel that we're all in together, pun intended with tunnels. But believe me when I say this, that it's not a freight train that's coming. Okay, it's daylight. We already won. This is a death blossom. Okay, hold the line, and afterwards it's gravy. Dudes like this don't survive. Okay, real recognizes real, and the truth can never be stopped. It's only buried up. It's only buried, and we're uncovering those sands of time. We're uncovering the dust right now. So keep sleuthing. I'll report back after this clip is over. I'm gonna end the stream. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. Be safe. Much love, all, and thanks again. Here we go. The dance.
Miss Fry, may I have this dance?
Mr. Starrick, you've had your fun, but the game is over.
Listen. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Time is a wonderful thing, Miss Fry. It heals all wounds. We may make mistakes while dancing, but the Berserker ends, and then we begin again. Problem is, everyone forgets. They trip on the same mistakes over and over.
People can learn.
Can they? Isn't everyone around you repeating the same steps? But if one man could remember the dance, could know the time, then he could change things for the better.
I have had enough.
This dance is nearly over. Soon, the people will forget the generation on this terrace. The ruin you nearly wrought on London. When the music ceases, Miss Fry, your time is up, and mine begins.
You'd like to think so, wouldn't you? To quote Lassini from Princess Bride. I think that's good to tail it out on. That was from Syndicate, I believe, Zeralas. So again, thanks everybody. I'll catch you on the next one. I got a lot more work to do, and you could ride along with me over at MeWe. So keep wandering, keep wondering, keep sleuthing. Much love.